We are live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's special guest, the Green Wizard. Everybody say hello to Ron.
Hi, everybody. How are we all doing tonight?
We'll give it a few more minutes to see how many people decide to spring in here, and we'll get started. We have some latecomers. They like to show up in the fancy outfits and be fashionably late.
Well, they also Overlook Valley was had their live going, and they should have been wrapping it up now. And let me take a look here.
That one muted.
And yeah, two Real Geeks should be wrapping it up. Big Dreams Homestead should be wrapping it up. Smith Family Ranch should all be wrapping it up now. And Stony Ridge Farmer should be wrapping it up as well. Those were the big draws at for the last hour.
Right. Okay, so that knocked that down. You went from 7 to 4 that fast. Holy cow.
And we're coming back up again on the watching. We're back up to 7 and 7. You got more people coming in. There's Cecilia.
There's the one that would have to be Smurf, because that's my main computer, not this one.
Yeah.
For future reference.
Wayne G's here. You want me to do a roll call, Dave?
Sure, go ahead. They're tired of hearing my voice anyway.
Huh?
So they're already tired of hearing my voice. They came here to see somebody else.
All right. Of course, we got Ron up here in here, Southern Ohio Prepping. Chuck Schwalder. I know I'm going to butcher that one up. Stuau. I can't pronounce it. I apologize. I'm an idiot. Bobby McNutt, the Evil Twin. Camp Patton's here. That's me. Phelan Klein Wolf is here adding support. Bedtime Stories of Charles. Dave's here. Green Wizard, of course, again. And then Cecilia, Wayne, and Lori's here. All hail Queen of the North.
Good evening, folks. So I hope you brought your all gardening questions, because that's what this man does.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
I'll give you a heads up. I forgot to mention this earlier. Your arch nemesis may show up.
Arch nemesis?
Howie.
Oh, my buddy. My brother from up north. That's not an arch nemesis. He is right on the same track, buddy.
Yeah, he said he was going to try and pop in tonight.
Yeah, he is on it. That's the direction of the second book. But taking his procedure even further and getting even greater results. Where he's going one direction, there's a few things that he's unaware of, apparently, that he didn't put into his process that will amp that garden up and even make it 10 times better than that. Where you never have to add soil ever again, and it will continue to grow the soil. Not just reproduce it and not feed it, grow the soil. Yeah. It's an incredible process. They've been using it down in the Amazon forever.
Yeah. Well, we got a battle of the queens going on.
Yeah, let them.
Cecilia and Lori were saying who's here first, who's the queen, and they're giggling and laughing at each other.
Yeah, you know how them crazy Canadians are.
I like Lori's response there.
Lori,
she says that's because Howie lives in a tropical rainforest, unlike the rest of us freezing up north.
Well, you have to understand the thermodynamics of your soils. Even up north, even up in Canada, those soils can still be 40 and 50 degrees and still be growing in the food web aspect. So if you fed it well and you keep it blanketed, like I warn everybody to do, you could still have a thriving garden going like crazy under the snow and still beat what Howie's doing. It's possible.
First question.
Tree leaves and compost. Yes, absolutely. Now, what I want you guys to think about is A lot of these greenhouses in the winter, when they tell you they're all shutting down, they move all their chickens, they move all their manure, they move all of their composting inside the greenhouses, and the greenhouses stay warm for a reason. So when you start thinking about blanketing, especially up north, our friends up in Canada, when you guys start thinking about blanketing, that's when you want to start adding your hot additions, the stuff that you want composting and breaking down the most, yet feeding the soil. Because I always say, don't rototill, crack the soil open. Well, you can go through with a shovel and crack that soil open and allow that compost to fall in those cracks. That's how you're getting the organic matter in there. And if you're setting it all up prior to winter hitting and you've got 3 inches of blanket, you have a hot garden bed going all winter long.
I think that's key for even here in the U.S. and the more northern states like Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, where they get the heavier snows, in Vermont, getting that set up in advance, like at the end of spring, or not spring, but the end of summer, and work on it through the fall. So when winter actually does hit, you've actually got something that's growable.
Right. And see, that's the thing. And that's why, and I'm not going to go too far into it. I'd rather be selling the book than giving all the information away.
Exactly.
So that I can develop the other aspects of the second book. But what you're doing when you're adding the organic hot materials to your soils is you're giving the food web something to eat. As the food web is doing its thing, it's heating the soil. That's why composting works. It's the food web in there digesting all of your compostable materials, all of your organic matter. So as you feed this to your soils up north, anywhere, it doesn't matter where, it's going to heat things up all winter long. So I don't care how deep the snow is, you're going to have a hot pocket sitting there. Now, as far as your bale farming, as you're calling it, if you're using alfalfa, you have your roots coming in contact with a natural steroid. As it's breaking down, as it's doing its thing, it's giving it all the nitrogen that it needs. But you're still missing the key factors of the minerals and the vitamins. So doing it in bales and doing it in straw bales and doing it in alfalfa bales, it's going to be growing and it's going to be okay. And you're going to have hot spots, but you're not going to be getting the good materials that you can potentially get if you were to put compost in that bale and give it something to grow on that's going to be fully mineralized. So as you read through the book and you start to understand, mineralizing is everything. Getting all of the different colors of leaves, in other words, into your soil is going to replenish all of the nutrients that you need.
Hence why farmers use clover and stuff like that in their off seasons on their fields so it can put nutrients back in.
Natural nitrogen builder directly out of the air, grows all winter long. So does alfalfa. Mm-hmm. And that's your nitrogen boost. And those are the things. I mean, a lot of people way back in the 1950s, when they first started telling people to, move to the inner cities and start building your houses and start building in communities and what have you, and let's get into lawns, 50% of the seed was clover because it's the natural nitrogen builder. But then the chemical companies came along and said, hey, look, we can make a profit on this. Pull them clover out of there. Clover's a bad thing. Now we start treating the soil like it's chemical dependent. And now we've got all the flooding. We've got all the problems. Clover's a good thing.
Question, Ron. When you mentioned about minerals for the bales, I heard on a couple of other channels some of the homesteaders talking about the mineral blocks, not the salt blocks, the mineral blocks for the cows and stuff. Now, if you take one of those mineral blocks, would that put the minerals in there? It would be helpful for a garden or not?
Those mineral blocks, per Dr. Wallach, and he's big into animal husbandry and got all these degrees and what have you. They have about 50% of the minerals that the animals actually need. The rest they're going to get off of eating the grasses and the hays and the oats and the what have you that we naturally feed them. So if you were to break those blocks up, you're going to get some of the nutrients, not all the 90 that we actually need.
Okay.
The human body needs far more than what that mineral block offers. And what you're going to end up with is a deficient plant growing on it that's not going to have all the minerals that it may potentially need. You could get lucky. Don't misunderstand. I'm not saying that they're not a good idea, but depending on the plant, each plant takes in a certain amount of minerals. That mixture of minerals is what gives you that different flavors. That's why tomatoes don't taste like peppers, and why corn just tastes like corn and nothing else. I mean, each one of them has a combination of minerals to give you that flavor. And that's what they're doing in the grocery stores, is giving you combinations of chemicals to duplicate a flavor. When it isn't actually that flavor, it's a combination of deadly chemicals. We don't want that. We want the actual stuff right out of the garden. So yeah, there are 3 potential sources for really, really good minerals where you're going to get all the mighty 90 that you need. The 90, not only do you need minerals in all of your gardens and all of your plants, there are a few vitamins missing too. Because some of these plants now, yes, they will transition and they will turn certain minerals in combinations into vitamins that we actually need. But there are others that don't. Some of them don't occur in nature. So you're going to need to get them from somewhere. But I digress. I'm going off on a different direction. But yes, to answer your question, yes, you're going to get a good 50%, maybe a little bit more of better soil and better soil content, breaking up those blocks and putting them in your hay bales, putting them in your bales, putting them in your buckets, your pots, in your actual raised beds, in your gardens, in the soil. You're going to benefit yourself greatly. Anything you add to the soil. So the more minerals you can get, the better off you are.
Cool.
And what's great about that, when you think about it, if you go get a mineral block and you break this thing up in an 8-foot bed, 8 foot long, 2 foot wide, whatever, and you spread that out, you have just concentrated that many minerals that are going to take time to break down. You're going to have 3 or 4 years worth of minerals from that one purchase versus the NPK process, which tells you have to buy those minerals every single year or your plants don't survive.
Okay, we got 2. First one's on the screen there.
I'm trying to catch up. I agree. The product stores needs the pigs.
No, up here on our screen. Could you use urine to water it down to be usable for minerals?
It's hot, and it's the minerals that your body is getting rid of, and or all the other animals are getting rid of. It's extra vitamins in some cases, extra minerals in some cases. In some cases, it's stuff that we just do not ingest. So you're taking a 50-50 hot chance that you're going to end up with a excessive amount of mineral that your body didn't take in the first time or the animals didn't take in. So it's a 50-50 shot in the dark on that one. Now, as far as using it as a wild pest deterrent, absolutely. Around the outside of your bed, a foot, 2 away, to take some of that and put that around so that when the rodents come in and they come in contact with that smell, it backs them off, because it's not going to burn the soil and it's not going to stop the food web, but you're not going to be putting in extra minerals that your plants don't need. That's the whole point of the food web. The food web goes out and actually brings back, not the roots, the food web brings back the minerals that your plants actually need. That's why it's so important. And that's why the guide is written the way it's written. It's about taking care of your lawn and your garden. They both are symbiotic. They work together. You have to treat them both the same. So if you're up in your minerals in your garden, up around the garden and around the garden bed, you got to understand the food web will travel out to a mile to bring back the minerals that it needs, because that's what the plant is asking for. It's an incredible process, and I describe all of it and tell you how to take care of all of it in the Green Wizard's Guide.
Super Thrive.
Should I start seedlings inside and transplant in the straw bales? Yes. Yes. Because you're controlling the atmosphere and you're waiting until the right temperatures hit before you transplant. But then when you go to transplant, don't just stick them out there. Take them out there, leave them out there for half an afternoon, bring them in. Take them out there because they're not going to be ready for the instantaneous amount of sunlight, direct sunlight, unfiltered sunlight, air, rain, all the elements that you're going to throw it into. You have to slowly walk it into those elements to get the plants to do the best they possibly can.
Is Super Thrive okay?
Super Thrive. I've not heard of it.
Either.
I don't want to answer that incorrectly. Hold on. Any other questions while I'm looking this up real quick?
Not at the moment.
All right, somebody show me the bottle. No.
No.
Artificial hormones in it. Absolutely not. No. You want nature's hormone, nature's steroid, get alfalfa. The alfalfa pellets that we feed our rabbits, that we feed our horses and what have you, stick that in your soil. There's your natural steroid. There's your natural hormone builder. We feed it to our horses that racetrack and they don't get chemically tested and fail it because of other stimulants. That's a stimulant. That is a chemical. Do not use that in your garden. Absolutely not. No, run from that.
Any other questions, folks?
I'm going back. I'm going back in the chat to see if we missed anything.
Oh, it's right on the main label that it's loaded with hormones. I'm looking right at the label. I'm looking at the description and everything that's in it. And it's got a chemical hormone in it. Let me blow it up even bigger just to see. And that's the whole idea that they've been teaching everybody, and that's where our issue comes from. Is everybody is diving into the chemicals, and the chemicals are the problem. That's what has caused all of these conditions. That's why our food has been so bad for 35 years. That's why nothing at the grocery store is healthy anymore. And that's why the obesity has taken over our country. And that's why, this virus is ravaging the country because people aren't healthy. It is storming through our people uncontrollably because, every chemist out there is trying to sell you another chemical, another steroid, another this, another, and they're all chemicals. We have to get the system off the chemicals. The NPK system, where they tell you is 3, is actually 12 separate chemicals. The nitrogen, but the phosphate, the potassiums, and all of that stuff. You need 90 plus going into your soils. And they've been teaching everybody there's only the 12-point system that you need on the NPK process. Meanwhile, the clay beds are rising in our yards. The grass can't hold on. You've got clay everywhere. Everywhere is flooding. We have to get away from the chemicals. If you go into a store to buy anything for your garden and you flip the bag over or you flip the box over, or you flip the liquid over, and there are numbers on there in the description of what's in it, run. Do not buy that product because you're just adding chemicals. If there's words on it you can't pronounce, run. It's a chemical. You do not want that in your yard in any way, shape, or form. And remember, especially, and I was extremely stringent about this because I have pets and kids playing in my yard and what have you. And everything in the Green Wizard's Guide is organic. Everything has been tested. My animals eat this stuff. I walk in it barefoot. The kids come and play in my yard. We have no issues. I have no bugs. My yard is thriving. There's no clay anymore. I can't even reach it. It's like 8 feet deep or more. I can't even reach the clay bed when I send the probe down. It is all natural, and your soils will continue to grow and go deeper and deeper. You will reclaim all of your clay. That's the one I was just looking at. It's right there. Hormones, vitamins and hormones. Absolutely not. That's a chemical.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm here looking at the chemical breakdown right on the label on the back.
Yeah. And just because it's used by the Department of Agriculture, Army, Navy, Air Force, etc., doesn't mean it's good.
No, all those
Right
the way you have to think about this is look at all of our farms right now. All of our farms flooded out from a quarter inch of rain. Have you ever heard anything so ridiculous in your life? We have put so many chemicals on this planet, everywhere on this planet, from chemtrails through the NPK process, that we have turned all of our yards into clay and stopped topsoil. There's no more topsoil because we have basically killed off and shut down the food web. We've got to reverse that. We have to get away from the chemicals. If you read a bag for something that you want to add to your garden, or you heard some new trick, look at the ingredients. If there's a word on there you can't pronounce, or if there is a chemical breakdown number on that bag in its description of what the ingredients are, do not use it. Run from it. Please. And restore your yard. Soak up every drop. I was watching today. We had rain today all over Cleveland. And I was out driving around. My mistake. Oh my God, these people are losing their minds. All these yards flooding from the little bit of rain we were getting today. I come home, I look in my yard, no flooding anywhere. The water is soaking in as fast as it falls out of the sky. That's what your garden should be doing, and your yard should be doing. And the Green Wizard's Guide tells you exactly how to do it without making any mistakes, saving a ton of money and not making the mistakes I made. And you'll have a good laugh because I put it together in a way that it's not as serious as I'm coming across right now. It's a fun read. It's a 2-hour read, and I give you every answer to every question as to what I did and how I did it and why.
All right.
Hey, old man, what's going on?
Whoa. Get some feedback there. If you want to know whether something's safe to use or not, look up the name of the product and type in MSDS after it. That tells you what you have to use in order to clean up any accidental spill with said item. And if it says you have to use an alcohol-based product to clean it up, it's not something you want to use. Okay, what I've got on the screen is the MSDS for Super Thrive. Okay, and if you see there, it says isopropyl alcohol and an acid after it. I wouldn't want to put that in my plants. That's just me.
Okay, so
Hey, old man.
what you're looking for, there's a company at Fish's Gloves, to answer that question. There's a company in Canada. They're working on bringing the product here to the United States. They can't deliver it across the border. It's no longer allowed. They have a recipe. It is, and it's in my book too. And I can't, the name's just not popping into my head real quick. Oh shoot. What's that second company, Bobby? Gaia, G-A-Y-A, Gaia, as in, Mother Earth, Gaia. That company is selling a mix of the organic materials that they harvest from the glacier rock and powdering it. And then they are turning around and they are pelletizing it with natural nitrogens of bat guano and one or two other ingredients that he told me I'm not allowed to repeat. They are producing a product at Gaia that has a substance that matches exactly what you're talking about, that has all of the minerals and the nitrogens all in one that you can put directly into your gardens. And understand, anytime you treat your garden, like when you mineralize, if the package says that you need to wear a mask and or have gloves on when you mix this product because it is such a highly concentrated and dangerous product, don't put that on your yard. Think about that. If it's that toxic, you don't want that anywhere near your yard. That's why I say, if you're going to wash anything out in your yard, use Dawn kitchen soap. It is animal safe and friendly. Not the antibacterial stuff, just regular Dawn dish soap. Wash your yard, wash your sidewalks, wash your car, because it hurts nothing, but it chases away all oil-based products. It flushes them out of your yard.
All right, I found something here on Amazon called Gaia Green. Is that what you're talking about?
That's the company, yes.
You want to throw that up there, Dave?
Working.
There we go. So that's on Amazon. And I will throw the link up for that. There you go. Evil Twin threw it up there.
Sound cool?
So
All-purpose fertilizer, 444. That's probably the new one.
Yeah.
That's probably the new product I talked to him about.
and this is
I
a
talked to the company owner that was formulating this. Because obviously when you write a book and you put somebody in it, you have to have legal authorization to talk about their products. So I talked to this guy for hours to find this stuff out before it was ever released to market. And I had to wait for him to tell me the product is released. You can go ahead and talk before I could release the book. Because I couldn't be ahead of him.
right. And then they have a
Oh, wait. Texan had a question. What am I missing? 4 hydro growers. Yeah. Let me scroll back. I'll catch up. Now, obviously, if I'm missing a question, just, shout it out, capitalize it. If you guys have asked a question and I didn't catch it, please feel free, retype it, capitalize it so I see it.
there it goes.
Oh, alfalfa, if you planted it already, just crack the soil open and lay it in. What you're going to find is when the rain hits, it's going to soak in anyways. Those little pellets break down and will become a powder. They'll soak right into the soil and feed everything. But you can just crack the soil in between the rows and feed it that way.
And here's the other one they have out there is the Gaia Green 284. And it lists everything, fish with ingredients, fish bone meal, bone meal, glacial rock dust, mined potassium sulfate, fossilized carbon complex, rock phosphate, green sand, kelp meat, gypsum, bat guano.
There's the one. That's it. That's the one, everybody. That's the one we're talking about.
That's the new one. That's a little bit more expensive, but price Canadian dollars.
But that's the one we're talking about. Get that sucker and get that into your hay bales, and that's going to take care of the problem. Hey, Mr. Jerry's Woodworking, how's it going, buddy? And there's the man that can tell you. We're talking about the flooding situation, and me trying to point this out. Jerry was suffering from that issue. His wife read the book. She went out and applied this process to the yard, and in 2 weeks' time, 2 weeks' time, the flooding problem was gone in Jerry's yard. Now, of course, I'm Jerry's worst enemy because I'm burning up every lawnmower he can get his hands on, but that's a completely different scenario. We're not talking about that. It works that well that when this man comes home to cut grass, he's got a forest on his hands, but he's never had a yard this green. He's never had stuff growing this well in his yard before. This system goes to work that fast and gets rid of the oil-based chemicals and gets the compounds out of your yard. And you got to remember, if you're not getting the stuff out of the yard while the planes are still flying over and cars are still driving by, it's still going to soak into your soil. You need to get it all out of there. You follow the Green Wizard's guide, and you don't need to be adding this stuff every single year. That's not the point. The point of the guide is once you've treated your yard and gotten it to this point, it continues to reproduce year after year. You might only have to do it every 3 years. That's a huge difference from following the NPK process of what? $200, $300 a year that you have to keep reapplying just to keep your yard growing a little versus this system, which The yard just grows. It doesn't stop. You don't need to continually add stuff, and it just continues going. And you put the money back in your pocket every year. The 511. That might be okay, but that's a boost of nitrogen if it's the one I'm thinking it is.
While you look that up under the US profit.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's fine. But again, that's just a nitrogen boost. Okay, all you're doing is amping up the nitrogen. You can get exactly the same thing from a little bit of compost. You can get exactly the same thing from composted and or allowed to dry and washed out coffee grounds will give you the same nitrogen boost. Planting clover throughout your garden will give you the same nitrogen boost because it pulls all the nitrogen directly out of the air and turns it into crystals that it deposits into the soil. You have to keep your soils covered at all times, whether it be high grass, whether it be clover, whether it be you putting leaves in, whether it be you putting hay in. You never want your soil exposed to the sun. So fill your garden with clover and let the natural nitrogens amp up your feed and amp up your garden naturally versus getting in here and putting some of this other stuff down.
Okay, so I just noticed something here that the both these Gaia Green on Amazon are on Amazon Canada.
So they're not available in the United States yet.
Doesn't look like it. But hey, I just created a wish list on Amazon Canada. So when it becomes available in the US.
Right. And that's just going to give you your amped up nitrogen mineralized boost.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, something you don't need to do every year to your entire yard.
Yeah.
You need to do this like every other year, every third year. Because you cannot over mineralize your yard, but you can over nitrogen your yard and burn every plant. See, that's the issue when you start talking about some of these other fertilizers and some of these other products. They're amped up and let's call it dehydrated in a sense. They're a mastered version of a nitrogen builder. And as soon as you put that thing down, you've got something that can potentially burn your skin. What's that going to do to your plants and your roots? Do you really want something that heavy, that toxic, bleeding into your soil when all you need to do is plant clover, plant beans next to your corn? It's going to do exactly the same thing and leave nitrogen behind. Plant radishes and never harvest them. It's natural nitrogen builder directly in your soil.
I just discovered something here. I did a research through Amazon doing some digging and stuff. You can get it in the US, the 444 Gaia Green.
Okay.
It's from other sellers. And I'm trying to get the other one. The other one coming up here, the Power Bloom is a 284, also available from other sellers, but it is available in the US through these other sellers.
He was working on getting a factory here that could reproduce exactly the same product for him so that it could be sold here in the US. He couldn't ship it across the border, but they can chemically mix it together and sell it here in the US. That's what we were waiting for on the book release.
All right. So what I will do is I will post, oh wow, that's a long link. That's a shorter link. I'll put the shorter link to the Power Boost one here. I'll put that in there. No, I didn't want that.
Now, for those of you that can't compost and you want a garden, and you're going to be doing raised beds and what have you. You can do pot composting, where you take a bucket, cut the bottom off, and throw all of your kitchen scraps directly in that bucket with holes drilled in it so that the worms can come and go, and that will naturally compost in your yard. That will naturally compost into your garden and slowly feed off the compost and deliver direct nitrogen. The worms will carry it everywhere they need to go. But there's another product not covered in my book. We didn't have enough time, and I didn't have the authorization at the time. I've since talked to the owner. Wow, do I even have that link open? Oh, probably not. Nope, I do not. It is called Bloomin' Minerals. It is all the vitamins and all the nutrients pre-compost. It was never a composted material that was trapped in rocks way back in the glacier age, way back in the ice age. It was an entire forest that basically got blanketed over and turned into rocks before it could compost. You want to talk about something that's going to turn your yard around, turn your garden around? The product called Bloomin' Minerals. Absolutely phenomenal for a mineral boost in your yard.
Blooming.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to find that on Amazon.
Just in case, never can tell what'll pop up. Nope. Not on Amazon.
Did you see the question from Overbuilt? It's right there on the screen.
Nope. Okay, let me find my link.
Okay.
All right. Oh, wait. Yeah, I don't. No. Just a minute. I got it over here. I keep forgetting I'm in the channel on the other computer that had the actual link ready to go. There's a link for Bloomin' Minerals.
Overbuilt asks, does the book tell one how to plant to deter bugs?
Okay, when you have correctly mineralized your garden and your plants are healthy, understand bugs invade your garden and your flower beds and your yard when it's not healthy. That's Mother Nature trying to take out the unhealthy plants. When they're correctly mineralized and they're doing things the right way and the food web is thriving, they put out a natural defense that keeps the bugs away. Unhealthy plants do not. They're not healthy enough to produce those chemicals throughout their stalks and throughout the fruits and the vegetables. So what I'm saying is plants have a natural defense. When they're unhealthy, you have bugs invading your garden. When they're healthy, the bugs don't come around because the natural defenses are there fending them off, putting out chemicals that are toxic to the bugs. So as you build a better yard and a better garden, you have fewer and fewer and fewer bugs, all naturally. And yes, there are some other tricks. There are some other things you can use, like planting garlic in your yard and in your flower beds. And you wouldn't want to do it on heavy like I do. But what that seems to do to the soil a good 30 feet away from where the garlic is growing is make it all naturally flea and tick free. The fleas and ticks don't even land in my yard because of the garlic. So if you start growing a little bit of garlic around your garden, in your flower beds, around your yard becomes flea and tick free all naturally. You don't even have to think about it. Now think about the other side to this. One of the things that is in my book as a yard wash, the chemical that is being used in the Dawn soap dehydrates certain bugs and breaks down their shells. They can't fly anymore. They can't walk anymore. They can't move anymore, because once they're dehydrated, they're done and they die off. So you can legitimately wash your yard and kill off a ton of bugs just by them landing in that spray or landing in those bubbles.
Yeah.
So yes, this Green Wizard's Guide covers all of that.
Yeah. Box elder, bug seed, mother soap.
Well, yeah, like I said, overbuild. Grow garlic. It's a natural defense. You can actually grow garlic and harvest it 3 times a year, depending on where you live in the United States. It grows all winter long. It grows great in the summer, and you can actually grow and pull a fall stock of garlic. You can grow it everywhere 3 times a year.
Hey, Dave, I got that image up there for the blooming minerals. So this is the page for that link that he put out there, and then you kind of scroll on down, and there's the
bag.
There's the bag. There's the price.
Now that's for a very, very large yard. Don't misunderstand. That is the 50-pound bag. That is the cheapest way to get it for the largest amount of content you can get. So
I got 2.5 acres.
That's perfect. That's perfect. You'll use that bag twice a year and wipe out the bag. So you're basically going to put down 10 pounds per acre, in a sense. So you're going to wipe out 20 pounds the first round, 20 pounds the second round, and you're good to go. And that's 2-3 years worth of minerals going into your soil. Oh yeah, Texan, garlic has all sorts of different uses. It is a tremendous antibiotic. If you mix it with local honey, it is actually a weight loss program. You can actually drink the garlic and honey 20 minutes, 30 minutes before you go to bed and cause natural weight loss by kicking in your metabolism overnight. I heard about beer. So was peeing out in the tree causing excess of nitrogen. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You can cause different problems. I mean, don't misunderstand. You overdo anything. That's why I warn, using a specific nitrogen builder like a fish this or what have you. And I'm not saying they're bad. Dilute the living daylights out of it. My best warning to anybody, if you've got stuff in your garage that you still want to burn off, that is natural, that is a nitrogen builder, what have you, only use it at 10% strength. Increase the amount of water you're mixing it with that much, because a lot of times these manufacturers are giving you almost to the danger level of what you're allowed to put down on the plant so that you come back and buy more next year. They're not telling you how toxic some of this stuff can actually be. Use 10% of what the bottle actually says. Mix it down that much to be safe.
Yeah, Lori asked a question there about the garlic and honey.
Yeah. What am I missing?
I guess she wants more information. She only caught part of it.
Okay, if you take your garlic cloves and you open them up and you get just the little pieces, okay, you can mince that down, and then you mix that with your local non-pasteurized honey. Get a hold of your local beekeepers for this stuff, because that's gonna be the one that's gonna amp up your system to stop any and all allergies from all of the pollens, so that when you naturally get sick because the pollen's in the air and you got the breathing problems, and it's because you've got an immune system that can't handle it. You're not healthy, but you go in and you put in honey ahead of it, and you've got the natural antibodies built in. So always use local, non-pasteurized honey, but mince the garlic, put it in a little jar, pour the honey in on top of it and let it sit. And all you need is a tablespoon a night before you go to bed. Just as your stomach's starting to growl a little bit, feed it some honey and some garlic, and the weight loss is natural because the system kicks in naturally and you'll just start losing weight.
Can you read it to me?
What was that?
Old man was wanting to know the price of that bag.
Oh, the price of this bag. The price of the bag, it says retail price is $90.99. Wholesale price is $72.95.
762. Yep, absolutely. There you go. That'll stop most of them.
So, yeah.
Okay, what's going on there, Brastard, is a lack of mineral access because of the clay condition. Your roots cannot reach out, and the food web cannot reach out to get a hold of the minerals that those plants need. Now, I'm not sure if Jerry's still in here or not, but he's got a plant, a fruit-bearing plant, tree, what have you, that has suffered for years and struggled. This last year, that thing took off like a rocket after mineralizing the soil. What you're doing by amping up your soil and amping up the conditions and following the Green Wizard's guide is getting rid of the clay, opening the soils back up, allowing the minerals to get back to those plants so that your fruits stop being sick and get to their full size. We've over harvested in a sense, and using the NPK process, we have turned our yards into nothing but clay beds and rock, and nothing will soak in, nothing will grow, nothing is healthy. And now we're turning to the grocery stores for even more unhealthy food that lives on the NPK process. The Green Wizard's Guide is the solution to being healthy. The Green Wizard's Guide is the solution to getting rid of bugs. Like Jerry said, the solution is in the book. When you understand how the food web works and you understand how simple it is, Mother Nature laid it all out for us. How simple it all is to just treat it Mother Nature's way. It's incredible what your yard can produce. I started a bunch of years ago, and we'll just go with the tomatoes because it's the best example. My neighbor handed me 10 tomato plants. I got maybe 100 pounds of tomatoes, maybe. When I started into my process, I'm down to 3 plants and getting 600 pounds of tomatoes off of 3 plants, not 10. That's how much better your soil is capable of becoming when you get it back to where it was 35 years ago, before the NPK process. And like I said, you can turn this around in 2 weeks. It's that simple. It's very easy. And you don't work harder. In a sense, you work smarter. You're not weeding your gardens anymore. That's done. You stop weeding. You never see a weed again because you wipe them out before you ever plant a food. Before you do anything, you're wiping out the weed seeds. You no longer need them.
Another question coming up on screen.
Do you go over small trees, plants next to large? What?
Things she's talking about in the book. Do you cover that in the book?
Yeah. All of the stuff is covered. I have held nothing back. In 114 pages, I cover everything. Everything you need to know to understand what's going on in the soil.
Yeah.
Actually, Brastard, what you actually need, believe it or not, is you actually need clay. And you can grow a garden in that sand. Right. But see, that's the whole point. And the Green Wizard's Guide covers all of this.
Dave, you want to throw my thing?
When you have all the conditions right and you understand how the food web affects the entire food chain, and you understand how to feed it to bring it to life immediately and really get going, I don't care where you live, they are growing huge. And I mean, we're talking acres and acres and acres of gardens in the Sahara Desert. Over in Egypt, they are growing huge gardens in the sand. And we're talking about everything from peppers, tomatoes, the whole 9 yards, because they're understanding to support the food web brings these plants back to life. They're turning sand areas back into full blown farms that sustain themselves just by following the instructions and understanding what it is that the food web is and what it's doing in your soil and how we've destroyed it. As soon as you start to have that understanding and you start to walk around your yard, and you're going to actually start seeing the problems in your own yard and not even need the guide, because you're going to understand, okay, that's missing organic matter. Okay, this is over here and this is flooding, so this needs more of this specific mineral. And as soon as I start adding that, the flooding stops and the clay starts to dissipate. So if I add a little bit more and I add some more seed, and this area over here, you know, it's showing more soil than it needs to be, I can throw some clover down and cover that up, and all of a sudden it's going to start recovering and start turning back into topsoil again. Topsoil will continue to grow deeper and deeper into your yard. The scientific studies are out there, and a lot of colleges are finally starting to report this. They went out and did a big study in North Carolina. No, it wasn't North Carolina. Somewhere, whatever. It's here in the United States. Doesn't matter what state it is. Everywhere they've checked, it's been the same. They went into an old farm, 70 years old. Nothing had been done there. Nobody had touched it. Hadn't been farmed. They slid plexiglass down into the soil. 40 feet deep they went with the plexiglass, and that's how deep the roots were growing in an all natural condition. And it was 40 feet deep of topsoil. We should have topsoil from bedrock to the surface. And that's what's capable in your yard and in your garden when you understand what the food web is and start feeding the food web and start taking care of the soil, making sure nothing is uncovered. It's incredible what this system can do. And most people, you know, and here we are, we're facing the coronavirus, and I didn't want to go here, but we're facing the coronavirus, and the people that are getting the sickest and the people that are having the worst of the problems are the ones that don't have access to good food, the mighty 90 minerals that we actually need in our diets on a daily basis. When you can get that out of your garden just by fixing the soil, you can grow all of that in your yard. I don't care how old you are. Anyone from the age of 10 through Bobby McNutt can grow a garden and not have a problem. And it's simple. I mean, I've written it in such a way that it's entertaining and it's basic that you know, and I kid Bobby about it because it's just one of them things. But this man loves his crayons, and I've left blank pages in there for him to take notes, but he drew pictures instead. He read the book and understood it the first pass. It's that simple. You don't need a scientific textbook in front of you to understand how Mother Nature works. You just need the explanation. It is extremely simple to understand. I've laid it out in I did write the big book. It was 500 pages, and it killed me to even attempt to read it. I threw it away and started over. And this thing's been in the work for 5 years. You're getting 15 years worth of my mistakes and my understanding in this book, and given every detail you possibly need to understand this, to make this work for you and to get your yard the healthiest it can be this year. Not waiting till next year in the process. We're talking in weeks this system goes to work, and you can have the best plants possible going to full fruition that have all the minerals that it possibly needs and give you food you haven't tasted in 35 years in this country. Any country for that matter, because we're all living on the NPK system, and it's tearing us apart. It's giving us the obesity. It's knocking us down. It's destroying us.
Okay, we do have one up on the screen right there.
Oh, is there a certain wood? Any hardwoods, the better. Pine is not the best. Don't misunderstand. In time, pine is okay. The pine tar is the problem. The pine sap won't help your garden at all. But any of the hardwoods, burn them all and use all those ashes for minerals. Dump everything in your garden, every ash you can find.
Microzoa. You talk about it in the book?
Microzoa. That's just part of the food web. If it's the thing I'm thinking it is. Roundup, shut up. Hey, old man, stop. Don't ever. Holy, somebody boot him from the room for 30 seconds. Old man, never, ever. Don't start cussing at me and coming around. No.
No. He said
Roundup.
he said his neighbors are using it, not him.
Oh my
His
God,
neighbors
they're
are
killing you. File a lawsuit against them. Absolutely not. That is the most toxic material on the planet. You can't even get that out of the water table once it's in it. At 100,000 parts per million, it's toxic to human beings. It is, oh my God, is it deadly? Absolutely not. Wow. Yes, put a cease and desist order on your neighbors. Oh my God. Give them a copy of my book and let them understand what they're doing to nature. Holy cow.
His neighbors would probably look at the book and draw like Bobby did.
And
Hey, Bobby,
yeah.
get with me, Bobby. I'll send you a couple boxes.
Bobby being there with his crayons. Now, for those of you that can't, Bobby McNutt every once in a while will do a random giveaway, and he does give away my book every once in a while. So you just never know. You keep an eye on Bobby McNutt, you may come across a free copy of it. Anything is possible. You never know with Bobby. That is one of the most supportive channels I have ever seen. Let's see. 25. Wax. Okay, they're still goofing off. That's fine.
Sorry about that, Bobby. I have to go back and resubscribe.
Yeah, Bobby, he made the mistake of lending the book to a friend 30 miles away and hasn't seen the book or his friend since. Ow.
That explains that.
What'd you do now?
No, YouTube being, unsubscribing and then dinking stuff. I hadn't seen anything from him for a while. I totally forgot about him because I hadn't seen anything. And
Same
with everything else going on, I had to go back and resubscribe.
Well, we were contending with that troll issue. So he's been down and quiet and actually learning editing and doing a phenomenal job. And doing some other things in the process. So he's been creating videos in the background. He just hasn't really been running live streams as much. But you just never know with Bobby. You never turn your back on that man. You just never. I mean, he could have a day without crayons and actually want to go live streaming the entire day. The last time I checked, and we've been doing something in the background, he's been up and going now for almost 48 straight hours. You just never know with Bobby. You just never know.
I had a lot of videos here I missed from him.
All right. So any other questions we can potentially get into and or head after?
Well, you brought it up, and I'll stay away from the mic so we don't get the feedback. But, this virus does bring up the need for people to actually get out of the house into the yard and start growing.
Yes.
Because and people don't want to hear it. They call it fear mongering, but all they got to do is look at the other countries that this is affected, that are currently in. Well, we're worse shape than most of them now. We surpassed France, but their transportation systems are affected, which is the just-in-time delivery system, which this country relies so heavily on. None of my neighbors have more than 4 days worth of food in their house.
Yep.
And they're going to the store now and panicking. Oh my gosh, I can't find no food. Well, here we can't grow nothing, but they have family here. I don't, that have gardens. And if they get off their duff and go work in those gardens for even 2 hours a day, they'd have more food than I've got.
Right.
And people aren't understanding the severity of this. when the trucks stop, because guess what? When, you know, LA's already shelter in place, New York City's fixed to go shelter in place. I see Ohio going full state shelter in place here pretty quick.
Yeah, we're headed there.
That's just presenting the facts, folks. It's not fear mongering, it's fact. You know, and like I've said in the past, if facts scare you, then it's not the facts that are a problem. It's your mind, your mental state.
Yeah. Hey, Dave.
Yes.
I was on the phone earlier talking with Scott, Hidden Valley Homestead. He's down there in LA and on the crane stuff. And they were, with those shelter in place orders were coming out. Two counties issued the same wording, but one said, no, this is what we mean. They had to redo a retraction on it. And the other one said this, but LA County has listed a whole bunch of businesses that are considered essential. And the construction industry, because all the construction work going on out down there is considered essential, plus the fact they listed they're outdoors and they're not all crowded together.
Right.
Naturally, in a construction industry, you got 10, 12 feet between guys that are running around doing things. So, you know, a lot of companies there are, LA's trying to keep the economy going, but they just want, if you're not busy, if you're not essential to keeping other stuff going, stay at home, get healthy, allow this to skip over you, pass you by, and be okay.
The virus really needs to get people thinking back to where my mom was when I was a kid, where we always had a half acre of vegetables and corn and pumpkins and all this other stuff, and a half acre of yard. My mom would can in the middle of summer and at the beginning of fall enough canned goods to last us 2 or 3 years. Unfortunately, a lot of that was lost when we moved and our landlord stole it. But, you know, the point is, it doesn't take long to build up a stockpile if you take a little bit of time to go out there. And it doesn't take a lot of time once you get your soil fixed. It only takes a couple hours a day to go out and, you know, make sure the beans are propped up so they're not laying on the ground, or, you know, lay your squash over a different way or whatever. But just a little bit of time every day, and you're going to have more than enough food for you and your family.
Yeah. I mean, the snow finally melted here and we had a day of sunshine, and my daughter and son-in-law were out there in the garden, getting their stuff ready, cleaning it up and getting ready to put in more, planter boxes and stuff to get, the garden going so we can start getting more, fresh vegetables and stuff here the natural way.
Well, here another study was done, and what they're saying under the NPK system, that 1 acre of garden will feed 5 people all year long. So it only takes an acre. Now, remember I said I went from 10 plants under the NPK system giving me 100 pounds of tomatoes to 3 plants giving me 600 pounds. What do you think you can feed in that 1 acre under the Green Wizard system, under the natural organic system? You're not
20 or 30 people.
Exactly. So when you're talking about, well, I've only got potters, or I've only got this, or I've only got that, under the Green Wizard system, you're going to get maximum possible available. Corn, just as an example, corn 50 years ago used to grow 12 to 18 feet tall. You're lucky if you see an 8-foot corn plant now because of the NPK system. When you get back to the NPK system, you're going to get back to the 12-foot and the 18-foot tall corn stalks and be feeding a lot of people. Not just a few, a lot of people.
Yeah, my pastor looked up the average size of corn and, you know, how many per stalk. And the average right now for regular corn is 1, maybe 2 ears per stalk.
Right.
And the average of 800 kernels per ear. But I remember when I was a kid looking at the cornfield, because I lived next to cornfields, you know, almost as tall as the semi-trailer my dad hauled his cattle in.
Right.
And now they're not much higher than the Jeep I used to have.
Exactly. And nobody is piecing this together. It's because we've got off the organics and went the NPK system. And the sad part is that the government subsidizes the NPK farms, not the organic farms that produce the real food. You got to question why. and I don't want to get into conspiracy theory, and I don't want to get my tinfoil hat out, but the proof is in the pudding. When 3 tomato plants can put out that many tomatoes on a natural system, and what are we getting out of an NPK system that's not good for you?
You're lucky to get a hand.
Right. And that, well, yeah, and I'm glad you brought that back up, Texan, because I meant to mention that. And I'll go off on this other tangent real fast, so don't let me forget sunflowers. But you got to understand, a pack of tomatoes, a pack of seeds, any plant, a pack of seeds is what, 89 cents, $1, depending on where you go. And you're talking about heritage, you're talking about organic, you're talking about good, wholesome seeds that have no GMO to them whatsoever. And you can get 150 plants out of one pack of seeds. How much food can you produce in your yard in the next 90 days, the next 120 days? That's what people have to understand. They can do you can do some incredible things with just a little bit of knowledge. And when you apply this to your yard, just stand back, look out, because here it comes. Sunflowers.
Yep. Give me a second.
Sunflowers is a all natural heavy metals remover from your soils. If you think for any reason you have heavy metals, whether it be the color of the clay or the color of your dirt or what have you, and you think there's concentrated chemicals, concentrated heavy metals in your yard, grow sunflowers. I even suggest growing sunflowers in your gardens every 2 to 3 years and throw them away. They pull the heavy metals out of the soil and neutralize them. They stop them dead in their tracks, and you throw the plant away. Never pull the roots of any plant. Cut them down. Never pull the roots. Leave the roots alone. You don't need crop rotation. You need the roots left alone to feed the food web all winter long. But you can clean your yards and clean your soil just by growing sunflowers every couple of years.
Yeah, I was going back to the chat here looking for some questions we missed. There was one here from Old Man. He said, what about getting rid of old gunpowder by throwing it on your grass?
Yeah, won't hurt a thing. Like I said, sunflowers will pull out toxic chemicals. If you have an excess, there are a few plants that you can grow that I covered in one of my videos on my channel. So you can just go back, Old Man, and listen to some of my old videos. But I've gone over some of those plants that specifically pull out gunpowders and old munitions out of soils and do some incredible jobs. What you're going to find when you get your hands on the Green Wizard's Guide is that there are empty blank pages. They're in there for a reason. They match up the videos on my YouTube channel. You can actually go to my YouTube channel with that blank page and fill in the information, as well as put in your own notes. No other book is out there that is actually built and designed for the gardener with a dirty thumb that's not going to get his fingers on the text, because I shoved everything over so that your dirty, greasy, dirt-ridden hand does not smudge the paper. I've given you blank pages in the book so that you can keep all your notes together. And my website, The Green Wizard, and the book, The Green Wizard's Guide, work hand in hand. Page 59 is a recipe for getting rid of weeds and killing off weeds and gravel driveways and stuff and stopping them dead cold in their tracks. It's not in the book. No, it's on the Green Wizard channel. Just write down the recipe. I give you everything you need. I've held nothing back.
One other thing is if you're growing, let's say you grow tomatoes and squash and cucumbers and one or two radishes or onions, the excess that you don't need, take to your local co-op on a Wednesday or Saturday, whatever your local co-op is at the local park, and you can trade your excess off for the stuff you need, because that's how some farmers work. They'll take a bunch of excess, they'll go to the co-op, and they'll put up a little stall, and you guys go barter back and forth. And while you might not be growing actual corn, they're not growing radishes. Well, they want radishes, you want corn, you swap back and forth. That's one benefit to having the ability to produce extra in such a fashion using this book.
Well, thanks, Overbuilt. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Look, it's been a 15, 16-year process. And my yard is incredible. I can't park anything in my grass because it sinks. If I put my car in my front yard, it sinks in hours, and I have to pull it back off the yard because I now have ruts. The great thing about the NPK, or I'm sorry, the great thing about the organic material in my soils is it pushes that soil right back up in a day, 24 hours, and those same ruts that I put in the yard are gone. They fix themselves. It's an incredible system when you feed it the right way and you take care of it. My neighbors bugged me for years, which was the whole inspiration for writing this book. They wanted to know what I was doing. How was I getting these results? How did I go from the weed king to all of a sudden being the green wizard in a year? So I decided I was going to write all this information down for them. And I come into this book that just poured out of me that was absolutely phenomenal. And it's a fun read. 2 hours time and you're done with the book. And you've got to go back and reread it to get all the details out because you were laughing so hard going through the book. So I've spent 5 years putting this book together and getting it up to speed so that I could bring it out to market last February, a year ago. And we attempted a YouTube launch that didn't go great, but that's okay. I'm not giving up on the book. I just have to go different routes to get this information to you guys. You guys, I've been talking about it for over a year and you're just now hearing it in some cases. That's kind of the problem with YouTube. If we're not all socializing and spreading amongst each other, and I appreciate Southern Ohio Prepping for bringing me in. We've been friends for a while now, and he wanted you guys to hear this information. This stuff is freely available and you can get your hands on it. Like I said, every once in a while, Bobby will give them out for free. The book is dirt cheap on Amazon. I was not going to allow a $25 price tag to be put on this like I was told to do. I put this thing down as low as I possibly could to get it in your hands. And now we've got the coronavirus hitting everybody, and we need to be looking at our food storage. We need to be looking at getting healthy foods back in our own yards and taking care of ourselves. Get this book out to your neighbors. Start, the exchange, like you were talking about, take your excess to an exchange. I exchange with my neighbors tremendously because I hate tomatoes. I've got 600 pounds of tomatoes to give away. You can't believe what I get back. And I won't even go into that stuff, but oh my God. Yes, absolutely. Trade off everything you don't need or you have excess in. So grow it all and have fun with it. And it's amazing how much calmer you become. We're all going to get stir crazy for the next 2 weeks. We're all locked up in Ohio. All these businesses are closing. They're demanding we stay home for 2 weeks. We're all going to go stir crazy. Not me. I'm going to go cut my grass because it already needs to be cut. We just lost our snow. Yep. My yard grows that fast, even in the middle of winter.
Okay. You got a question up there on the screen from Sherry K. She's asking, if I have invasive red raspberries growing, how do I get rid of this problem?
That would be page 59 video on Green Wizard. That is the recipe. That is the vinegar salt recipe that you mix up and just spray on the plant and it burns the plant up.
Now, I want to address something in here. Lori was asking about the sunflower seed. Okay. Wouldn't the sunflower seeds also absorb the minerals and toxins? I believe you said that they would, and that 1 year get rid of them.
1 year to get rid of them, and then the following year you're safe. And understand that what the sunflower does, as it absorbs all of those minerals, it actually turns them off and makes them non-toxic anymore. So sunflower seeds might be perfectly okay the second year that you're growing sunflowers. As long as you're growing sunflowers every once in a while, you're knocking down the problem. Sunflowers neutralize these heavy metals, and some of the other plants that I covered in another video neutralize these heavy minerals and these heavy toxins that we're all fighting with. We need to get those toxins out of our system. Sherry Kay and I have been talking, and we're going to be getting together. She is a She is a chef extraordinaire and a keto diet person. And I'm going to take my vitamin and mineral information and her dietary and her cooking and her everything. And we're going to start doing videos. One of the things like getting rid of these heavy metal toxins and getting yourself healthier is just Epsom salt soaking your feet every night. And you would be amazed how dirty that water gets just by using Epsom salt to get rid of. And yes, I tell you, use Epsom salt in your yard and in your garden. It's a nitrogen builder, but it's also a heavy metal toxins neutralizer. It will flush those metals out of your garden. Every step of the Green Wizard's Guide is doing something else while it's doing the same thing to help you. And you get the most incredible results that you've never seen before.
Yeah.
Now, a few of you have followed me on Facebook, and you're wondering why for my, what was it, 9 months, almost 10 months of grass cutting, why I cut my grass 42 times in those amount of months. I'm getting my grass to go deeper in its root base. That's why 42 times. I'm trying to force it to go deeper. If you cut your grass excessively or repetitively, the energy will go someplace else. It'll go into the roots and go deeper and deeper. That doesn't mean you have to. You could be cutting half as much and only cutting 20 times or less than that and still be getting incredible results. But, just like Jerry, he couldn't cut as much and burned up 2 lawnmowers, 3 lawnmowers, and a tractor, I think. But that's just the way it goes. Your yard gets healthy, everything explodes. It's incredible.
Now, I have a suggestion for everyone that follows, and if they're producing too much food, and they don't need to go to the a co-op or a farmer's market to trade off, hey, your local food bank would be glad to have that, or your local Loaves and Fishes be glad to have that extra food.
All righty, Lori. Yeah, I appreciate you, dear. You have a great night.
Yeah. Take it easy, Lori. Hey, Gunslinger.
Ron, have you visited a Discord channel yet?
No, I've not had a chance to.
Well, I'm gonna.
I know how they work. I've been in one, so I understand it. I haven't done it yet.
This is a link to mine. The link expires in 1 day. You and Bobby should join up. And I do have a place for gardening tips and tricks in there. It's got homesteaders and preppers both in the server. I've got over 2 gigs of downloadable information, and I'm sure you probably got 1 or 2 things you might want to add to.
Yeah, it's really cool. People are over there talking all the time. Sometimes I just go over. I don't go into it much. I'll go over and I'll just kind of watch and listen. To watch what people are talking about. But
gee, I'm gonna have to give you an entirely new role.
All right. Let's see. Well, I'm going to be spending some money my wife ain't going to like. I can get a 40-pound bag of stuff and some of the other things and start spreading it around here. Yeah, I bought this property about, in 2016. But this is the first year I've actually spent a lot of time up here after I retired. The guy that had the property, the old man, had horses out there just beat 2.5 acres, or actually about 3.5 acres to death. Practically, and the only thing grows out there is star thistle and morning glory. So I've got the local dairy bringing in several tons of manure from the dairy here in a couple of weeks, just to spread out there, so I can try and I'll get that mineral put on there too. Try to revive this land here.
Okay, well, understand that a lot of those weeds that you're facing are actually trying to fix the soil also.
Yeah.
So don't go do a mass kill off, because they're actually trying to help.
Yeah. I'm also going to get one of the guys said he'd give me a supply of clover and alfalfa seed to spread out there.
Awesome. There you go. Now you're talking.
because he doesn't want the weed seed blown over into his place.
There you go,
Well,
Ron.
the weeds will naturally go away as you start applying this stuff. You're going to kill off the weeds.
Yeah.
And let him read the book, and he'll understand. Page 26, the weed killers, and their feed too. They are a nitrogen building weed killer. They kill the weed seeds. Get your neighbor to get a copy of the book, and he'll understand that. Oh, even if you do send some random seed into his property, that by utilizing this system, not only can he nitrogen, he can also kill off any weed seed you accidentally sent across the fence.
Yep. Yeah, I just picked up the Kindle version from you, and I put it on all my devices, including my wife's. She's going to say, "What the heck is this?"
Ron, you are now the administrator of the gardening tips and tricks part of the channel.
Okay.
So you have permissions to add, delete content on that part of the server.
Okay. Did I get my authorization link?
Don't need one. Unless you need to update an email or something like that. But
No. It was just telling me that I should expect an email.
oh yeah, it'll take a minute or two for Discord to send you a verification link.
Yeah, Sherry K. All parts of dandelions are edible.
Hey, Big Dreams. And of course, Bob is in there now.
Hey, Big Dreams.
But under the text channels, you'll see one that says a hashtag gardening tips and tricks. That's your domain there, Chief.
Alrighty, so I see we've got a couple of new people come in. Hey, Gunslinger, how you been, buddy? Haven't seen you in a bit. Any questions? Anything I can step up on?
There's a question in there from Big Dreams. There, he just put it up. He just put it up on the screen here.
Hey, everyone. Which herbs? All of them. All of them. Oh my God. You plant mint to drive off certain bugs, and you do this, that, and the other. I mean, I can't think of any herbs that I wouldn't be growing. No, Bobby, not 420. But I just, all of this stuff is incredible and healthy and loaded with vitamins and has all of this other stuff going on. I wouldn't stop at any specific herb, or say a specific herb. Sherry K might have an answer from the keto side of it to give you a specific one that you might want to specifically look at, dietary wise, that is highly medicinal and what have you. But yeah, I can't think of a single herb I would not be growing and drying and getting back into my stores.
She was referring to mainly medicinal type herbs.
Yeah, well, Bobby would instantly, him and his crayons, just, well.
Big Dreams was asking about the medicinal style herbs. Which ones would you recommend for medicinal?
Oh, I'm waiting to see if Sherry K pops up with one specific. She's saying certain ones for your teas, which are going to be healthy and push you a little bit. I mean, honestly, there's so many in the field and so many wild, what we call, and that just drives me crazy. So many people, just like the dandelion, want to call weeds a bad thing, and they're actually not. They're actually repairing soil conditions. They're fixing problems. As you change the soil conditions, as you understand the food web, a lot of the weeds just naturally stop and will not continue on and will go a different direction, and you'll actually lose what you consider a weed right out of your yard. It's phenomenal what can happen.
Okay.
There you go. There's one. Yeah, Sherry K is answering your question.
Overbuild asked, do you recommend him getting his soil tested to see what it may
No.
be?
No, absolutely not. What is going on? Discord went absolutely bonkers on my computer. I told it to put the desktop app on and it just took over my computer. Holy cow.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Okay.
No, see, this is the misunderstanding, and this is where people absolutely lose their minds. When you start repairing your soils, this BS of test your soils. Is it acidic? Is it neutral? Is it this? Is it that? That's all hogwash right out of the NPK handbook of turning your soils toxic and living on chemicals. We have to get away from that. You don't need your soil tested to understand that, hey, look, my roses are growing great. That must be an acidic area. If I add ashes to that, that's going to neutralize it. That's why so many people, and that's why they outlawed fireplaces as far as I'm concerned. You know, you're not allowed to have a fireplace that's going to neutralize your soil. They want you to go buy a chemical. Wonder why they passed that ordinance.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to test your soils to understand what's going on. You need to understand the food web and take care of it. It will fix the soil conditions for you. That's the understanding. This stuff will naturally turn around and fix a lot of problems just by following the Green Wizard's guide. You become pest-free, rodent-free. Your soils correct their own conditions, get back to a neutral, and give you incredible results. As long as you understand what's going on with the soil, every plant can thrive. And I don't acidic feed my roses, and I've got a 35 foot tall rose growing over my house. It's growing absolutely phenomenal, and I am not pushing a high acid in the area. There's no reason. I give it enough nutrients that that thing just goes like crazy on the vitamins and the minerals. And that's all I do. I make sure the food web is fed, and I make sure I've got my vitamins and minerals in the soils, and everything takes off. And I only have to do that once every 3 years. I am not spending a fortune every single year. My yard this year for 3 years worth of supplies was $150. When I went to the big box stores to see what the NPK process was going to cost me, it was $250 for 1 year. Not 3 years worth of supplies, 1 year for $150 versus, or I'm sorry, $250 on the NPK process, which is toxic. So go the opposite direction. Start understanding the organics of the soil and let things go crazy.
Well, Sherry's going crazy out there.
Yeah.
Oh, I knew she'd do the answer.
Yeah. Does Sherry come up on any live streams?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Constantly with us.
Cool.
Like I said, her and I are planning a health and wellness set of videos, an entire battery of them, where we're going to start with the thyroid and work all the way through the human body and what you need for both keto and your nutrition on every aspect, starting from the thyroid, working all the way down to, well, the loss of excess.
Yeah, because I mean, some of the channels I follow talk about keto a bit, and I'm thinking I need to get some people up here to do a keto on one of my live streams.
There's the lady for you.
Hey, Kathy, North Star Prepstetter is in the house. So let me go ahead and ping her over here.
Bobby, it's the wrong herb. I'm not talking about that herb. We're talking about stuff that you would put in actual food, not stuff to make you eat more. Actual.
Bobby.
Yeah, trust Bobby to make it funny.
Hey, a little levity sometimes helps make bad things a little easier.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Considering some of us are currently locked down to the four walls, and we're going to start bouncing our heads off the walls. We have more reason to try and communicate either via here or the Discord. So,
I'm keeping up, Overbuilt. It's all good. It's all good.
One of the things we need to consider too, while we are trapped, if you will, is your mental state. And a lot of foods will help keep you with a clearer mind. Yes. And having a place to go where you can vent or talk to somebody if you're alone. And I'm kind of alone. I got an 8-year-old. He doesn't understand half of what I talk about. So meeting people either here, Discord, or Facebook, just got to be careful what you say on Facebook. You wind up Facebook prison. Keep in mind that you need to talk. Don't try locking yourself into the house and not going outside and doing some gardening or finding some place to talk with people. One of the things I'm good at is listening. So don't hesitate to hit me up if you need somebody to talk to, and while you're eating your salad, trying to calm your mental state.
Well, and we were talking about that the other day. Sherry, I, and Bobby had a chance to sit down and talk about some stuff, and we're all going under lockdown, and the whole situation is going to tremendously get worse. If you have the ability to get your hands on green tea versus coffee and switch over to drinking green tea and get away from the caffeine, and understand green tea will take care of the coffee cravings. So it kind of counterbalances itself. But it turns out the caffeine actually increases our anxiety. So this next 2-3 weeks of people sitting at home drinking lots of coffee and pots of it and this, that, and the other, the anxiety levels are going to go through the roof. If you have the ability to switch to green tea and back away from the coffee, your anxiety levels will actually drop. It's actually healthier for you to drink the green teas than it is to drink coffee. Now, I'm addicted to it. I'm never going to switch over, but I spend so much time in my yard and my garden, I have no anxiety.
I don't drink coffee. I drink water.
I got you, Overbuilt.
Well, there's some medicinal reasons you might want to look at green teas, because some of the additives in there give you the minerals that you need.
Yeah. Right, Kathy. All right.
Any other questions, folks?
One quick question for Sherry. I do so. My lives are on Tuesday night, Friday night, and Saturday night. Which night is best for you to come talk about keto?
And there's your answer, Urban. Matcha is the best green tea to go after.
Mimsy's having a problem seeing things.
Yeah, I saw. Noticed that she came in. Saw. She's going to watch it on the replay. She can't see this chat.
Oh, she said that's all she can see.
Oh, that's all she can see. Oh.
Oh, it didn't.
Oh, I wonder if she clicked the wrong button up there. That just explains the chat and nothing else, and wipes everything else.
Oh yeah, instead of top chat, she may have popped the chat out. Oops. Yeah, restart YouTube to fix that. It'll automatically fix it.
All right.
Very Saturday.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I already got this Saturday scheduled. So Sherry, how about the 28th? And I will. If you get go to my channel, my email's down in there on the about page. Email me. It's really simple. Patton Family Compound at Gmail. Just take the spaces out.
Yeah, she's on her cell phone doing this. She's not on a computer, so it's going to
Yeah,
be
but that way she can remember that she can just, it's just Camp Patton Family Compound. And there's 2 P's in there, one for camp and one for Patton. It's all goes together.
overbuilt. I'm exactly the same way. I love my coffee. It's going to be hard, but I'm on the Mighty 90 minerals already. So I'm not so much concerned. One of the links I put up earlier showed you the minerals, the Bloomin' minerals. If you follow that backwards, you can actually get out to the Mighty 90 minerals that I talk about, vitamins and minerals that I take. They are abundantly available through my link there. I take those. I'm not necessarily concerned about some of the other things that I do take. I have gotten the complete house off of table salt and gone over to Himalayan sea salt for the higher iodine levels, which again clears the mind, fixes the thyroid, makes you more aware of what's going on, and fixes some other things. If any of you are on the sodium table salts, I would suggest using that on ice in your driveway from now on until it's gone, and going to grinders of Himalayan sea salt.
Mm-hmm.
I understand there's also a Pacific green sea salt that's available that is also in grinder form that has an even higher iodine level available.
Okay. Thank you, Kathy. Yeah, Kathy threw my email in there for people.
Yeah, she's got that click copy paste mechanism down pat.
Yep.
Yes, Celtic sea salt's the same thing. That's the stuff I use. I'm right there along with you. Oh, absolutely, Urban Prepper, and that's one of the things that Sherry and I have been talking about is addressing some of those issues, especially like with the thyroid. When you start to get away from certain sugars, and we're talking about what they now call regular sugars, you want pure cane. You don't want beet sugar, which is what a lot of the sugars are now made of. There's a toxic aspect to that actually slows down the thyroid and causes obesity. By getting off of some of these other chemicals, and the power drinks are the worst, absolutely the worst. The 5-hour energies and what have you, they coat the thyroid so bad that the thyroid can't function, and you're instantly losing. Anytime you ingest and or absorb iodine, it stops your body from taking that and turning it into T1, T2, and T4 that feed the brain and sharpen up a lot of these functions that kick back in your digestive system and how fast things burn off and your metabolism and what have you. Absolutely, by just getting rid of table salt, you can start remedying those problems.
Yeah, those energies in your heart too.
Oh God, they're terrible for you. Oh my God, they've done some autopsies on people, and all their organs are blocked up and shut down, and I mean, just causing all sorts of massive problems because the stuff doesn't digest. It doesn't leave the body. We're talking about 25 and 26-year-olds dying for no reason, and then when they go to do the autopsy, their organs are completely blocked up with energy drinks, and here it turns out they've been drinking 5 and 10 of these things a day.
Yeah. I don't know if Tibor is still in here or not. Tibor, are you still here? Yeah, Tibor's wife has had her thyroid removed, I believe, and she's on all sorts of medications.
Sherry can help with that. She's done the same thing.
Yeah, and he's been really concerned about getting medications if everything shuts down.
Yeah, Sherry can help with a lot of that. Yeah, we're a powerhouse team together, and then we've got Mr. Crayon over there that keeps us entertained and makes it all funny. So between the three of us, I mean, we.
Yeah, all you got to do is catch Bobby on Jerry's channel once or twice. You'll understand. They radiated her thyroid.
away. Yeah. Black walnut root replaces thyroid medication. There you go. Yeah, because Doc Bones and Nurse Amy gave us some stuff for some. What was it? Was that desiccated thyroid thing that was made down in Australia? That
It's desiccated bovine thyroid.
yeah.
Oh, right, Texan. Absolutely. Absolutely. 100% right. Oh yeah. Once the T4s drop out and a lot of the digestive system starts to shut down, she's constantly going to be sick. She's going to constantly have all sorts of other issues and phenomena going on. And you know, like I said, Sherry had the same thing. She's had hers removed. So she's dealing with these issues, but she's dealing with them in a more organic way and has a lot of the solutions in the organic field where you can't get the medications, but there's other solutions that are proven lifelong solutions. Just like colloidal silver, people don't understand how tremendously important this stuff is. And the Orientals knew about it way back when they were building the wall in China. Oh my God, the history is phenomenal on colloidal silver, and it's been out there forever. The only people preaching against colloidal silver are the ones peddling the chemicals.
Mainstream.
Yeah, I mean, I have a problem with a lot of quote medical doctors or the modern medical practice because it is a practice. They're practicing on us.
Right.
I was in several bad accidents. First I was rear-ended, and then I was in an industrial accident. They tried to send me to a physical therapist for my back. Made me worse the first day. Never went back. Got a good old chiropractor that had degrees upon degrees. He was a chiropractor, had his orthopedics doctorate as well. Hey, I have not been. It took him about 8 years to get me fixed up. But that's been 7 years ago. I haven't been back, to him. I haven't had to go back to him. Good old fashioned, treat the problem, not the symptoms.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Don't make my life a little bit more physical and a little bit more understanding and help me deal with the problem, cure it. And you can cure it through eating good foods out of your garden. You can cure it by understanding what nature provides and going a slightly different direction. Cure the problem, not dealing with the situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had to laugh when you were talking about the sunflowers. My wife grew sunflowers last year in her she turned a front yard. We have no lawn in the front yard in California.
That's awesome.
It is a garden, raised planter beds. She has strawberries growing all over outside the raised planter beds. We got borage, but she planted several sunflowers, and those suckers were about that big around on the stalk on the bottom. They were over 12 feet tall.
Yep.
And yeah, she uses all the compost. She hates Miracle-Gro. And she just uses all the natural stuff she can in her garden. And it's just, yeah. So, as this live talk about sunflowers, I remember looking up. Yeah, okay, that's a tall sunflower.
No, that mineral occurs naturally, North Star. But yeah, now when you take your system and you give her this system to apply to those sunflowers, and you let the soils do what they're supposed to do, and you don't let them, get exposed to sunlight, and you make sure they've got the right amount of water, and you make sure they get the right amount of air and what have you, because aeration is important. When all of the conditions are right, that what was a 12-foot sunflower will probably grow another 5 feet taller.
Need a chainsaw.
I know that's the last thing you want to hear, but it's phenomenal what can happen when the soils start working correctly.
Like Dave said, I'll need a chainsaw to take it down in the fall.
Right. but it's incredible, and just cut it down and leave the roots alone. Plant another sunflower right there the following year.
Yeah.
Because what's going on in those roots, you want to reproduce itself the next year. And the entire food web goes dormant over the winter and then comes right back to life when it comes in contact with the same roots and brings back the same minerals that plant needed to begin with. It's incredible what Mother Nature has given us that we have slowly destroyed and deteriorated under the NPK system.
Ooh, what's that? Texan says 2 times iodine from Infowars.
X2 iodine from Infowars. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely, because it's being pulled from Himalayan sea salt. They found another way of bringing it down. Survival Shield X2, absolutely 100%. I overdose on this stuff plus the iodine in the salt. Absolutely 100%. Totally agree.
Okay. Any more questions out there for Ron?
Investigations and talking. Alrighty, Overboat. Hey, anytime you want, you can email me at the Green Wizard, no spaces, at hotmail.com, and I can lead you in other directions. I have another channel that deals with nothing but health. And if you've got issues, throw them at me. I will gladly do videos, answer questions, do whatever you need to try and help out. Because it's all about the community. It's all about all of us helping each other. I'm going to ask all of you, please share this video out. Give it a thumbs up. Get everybody to understand the Green Wizard's Guide is a fun 2-hour read that's going to give you the ability to plant the most incredible garden you've ever seen this year. No hesitation, this year. And you're going to enjoy the book. God forbid you read something you actually laugh at, right?
Mm-hmm.
With everything else that's going on in our world today, and as scary and frightening as everything else is, do you want to pick up a newspaper or turn on the TV to see the news? Absolutely not. But if you can read something funny and have a good time doing it and learn something to figure out exactly what you can use that's already in your home, already in your yard to improve your conditions, why wouldn't you read the Green Wizard's Guide? No, not Whole Foods. No. Even they have been caught selling products that are being claimed as organic from Japan that has no organic standard.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Don't trust Whole Foods.
That'd be like saying trusting Monsanto for your well-being of your children.
Absolutely.
We didn't have half these issues that we have in this day and age 50 years ago.
Yeah.
No, nowhere near.
Everybody played in the dirt. We all got our immune system built up through the dirt.
Yep.
We ate dirt on our food. And now they scrub the daylights out of the food, spray it with chemicals, and feed it to you and say, it's good for you.
Well, they pick half the stuff before it's ripe, and then they use a chemical to ripen it while it's in transition to get to the grocery store. And then some kid at the grocery store is putting a little sticker on it that says organic to charge you more money for it.
Yeah.
When you taste a organically grown, if you don't trust my system, but you're willing to give it a try, and you try it in a container, and you grow just cherry tomatoes, don't do anything else. Just grow cherry tomatoes. You're going to taste a tomato that has not been available in 35 years in our country, and it's going to blow your mind the amount of flavor you're going to get from a simple cherry tomato. But be warned, you're going to get a lot of tomatoes off that one cherry tomato plant.
Okay.
Bobby.
Oh, now what did I miss?
He said he'll help everybody. Just send him some crayons.
Yeah, right. That's all we need. Bobby on more crayons. He'll be awake for 68 hours.
Hey, Ron, would you like to come on one of my lives?
Absolutely. Anytime, my friend.
Well, I'll tell you. All right. So I do Tuesdays at 7, Fridays at 8. This is Mountain Standard Time, and Saturdays at 5.
And what's that? 3 hours behind me?
Yes.
Yeah. So like Tuesday would be the same time as this here was.
Yeah, it'd
Fridays would
be 10 o'clock for me.
yeah. So probably would Saturday be better? That would make it 8 o'clock start for you.
Yeah, that would work perfect for me.
Cool. I'll put you on. How about doing April 4th? And I'll get
Send me a
stuff to you.
reminder.
Yeah, I
Email
will.
me a reminder, and I'll be there.
All righty. Yeah, I'll be 5 o'clock April 4th for Survival Saturday.
Fix your food bank. And not the one down the street either. Fix the one in your own backyard.
Yeah.
There's your title.
Well, Southern Ohio Prepping, I appreciate you having me up.
I appreciate
I hope I've supplied enough information for everybody to understand what's going on and how we can make things a little bit better for everybody.
Remember, folks, that's why we also have the Discord community. So when we're not on a live stream, we can all communicate and check in and chat with each other and ask questions. That's why I'm trying to build up that community. So we all have a resource we can go to. That, you know, somebody has a PDF they want to share, you can share it there and other people will have access to it. That's why we have the Discord.
And guys, yes, please feel free. If you have specific questions, email me. If it triggers enough or I get enough of the same question, I will immediately put out a video to answer the question, to cover up any topic in the gardening world that I can help with when it comes to your soil and your soil conditions. I am always looking for content and another topic to talk about. Sometimes it's hard for the creators to come up with things to go on. So please feel free, email me. I am there to answer questions.
Cool.
All right, Texan.
Yeah.
Well, Ron, you're more than welcome to stick around. But everybody was bugging us last night to discuss the Red Dragon, is what I've named it. That's flooding our country.
Oh, the corona.
Yeah. We try
minus the Lyme virus that's going around. That the cure was just found in France this morning. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Our immune systems are destroyed. You know, our bad food conditions are causing this condition. Everybody, you've got to understand. You know, this. I'm sorry. I'm under the impression that this was systematically released around the world to make somebody rich. Follow the money. I always say that when something weird happens, follow the money. That's just my impression here, but it seems really odd that the entire world came down with it in under a month when one person supposedly ate a bat. Let's get real here. Let's really think this through. Something's a little off.
These are just numbers here. I've been tracking it, and this is I just put these numbers in. These are the latest numbers right now for the United States, and it's gone up from last night at 11:30. That's number was at last night at 11:30. This is what it is right now, and it's gone up 2,850 since last night. So I still have another 2.5 hours to go on tracking this, and it's gonna go up probably another 100 tonight.
Now, are any of you guys talking about what you can potentially do to help yourselves under these lockdown conditions to deal with this if you potentially run into it?
It's kind of what I wanted to hit at tonight, because Palmetto Prepared, Anthony actually brought up a good point that there is so many much larger YouTube channels than mine going, it's the end of the world. Well, it's not the end of the world. You know, we as preppers, and forbid, actually planned for this kind of thing, even though none of us wanted it to happen. We stored food, we stored water, we stored ammunition, if that's your pleasure. You know, we prepared for this. But most of these channels aren't saying, hey, look, you know, do this to help yourself. Do this to help your mental state. Do this to help your physical state. So if you want to chime in on that, feel free.
Yeah, it's like I got on not this Friday, the following Friday on the 27th. my Friday night special is going to be how to relax your mental health. Talk about games and stuff that you can be doing. I should have swapped it out with this Friday nights, but I already got already put out the video announcing it already for this Friday. But talk about what are you going to do when you're in lockdown? Keep you from going cabin crazy.
Certain foods help with your mental state.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and look, everybody, understand a 2-week lockdown could get us all divorces. So you've got to look for other things to cool yourself and cool your jets and hang out outside and whatever, because this could get really, really weird.
Yeah, not me. My wife is in California still working at her $90,000+ a year job while I'm getting I'm fixing the property here in Idaho.
Wow. Yeah, so, you've got the best conditions in the world right now, ultimately.
Yeah. But my daughter is also due to deliver the second Saturday in April.
Oh.
Her last three boys all came a week early.
Oh.
Yeah. But we're on lockdown here. When we go out, we come back in, it's the hand sanitizer, everything else in the shower.
Right, directly in the shower. I wouldn't, and that's another thing. But I don't understand why people aren't understanding this. Hand sanitizer. There are chemicals in there that absorb into your skin that actually will knock down your immune system. Yeah, soap and water, everybody. It's an amazing thing, and it's been around since lye soap and forever.
Yeah.
Don't necessarily trust a chemical every time. The doctors are being proven to be wrong. Come on, everybody.
And if you need soap and she's not in here tonight, and I'm going to chew her out for not being here, get a hold of Heaven's Essentials. Her soaps are all natural, made with natural oils and ingredients. There's no chemical stuff involved. So if you need soaps, look up Heaven's Essentials in the Discord, and you can PM her there to get her information. She is more than willing to help out everybody in the community.
Yeah, it's like the hand sanitizer I use is basically when I'm out shopping. I got the little packet, so I can't wash out there. But when I get home, it's and the hand sanitizer I got has 2 ingredients: aloe vera gel and isopropyl alcohol.
You're saying hi to everybody.
But it's the washing is definitely and actually what we found works really good on washing. Good old-fashioned Boraxo hand soap.
There you go.
Because what's the word for it? We take off the dead skin cells and stuff. It does that. It foliates your hands and everything. And as Boraxo breaks down smaller and smaller as it gets wet and stuff, it starts grinding up bacteria and everything else too, and gets it off your hands.
And actually, you want to, if you can, take some of that rinse water and apply it to your gardens. Yeah, Boraxo has some chemicals in it that help the garden.
Yeah, my mom, back in the 70s, used to we had a big compost pile that was about 12 by 12. She used to sprinkle a box of borax laundry soap out there on it.
La 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 la.
Just a little bit, just enough.
I know a little bit about gardening, just a little bit.
But that's what and the compost was. We had some amazing stuff coming out of that compost pile. The worms were huge.
Yeah, Tibor, I'm the same way. I made the mistake. I had to go out to get my final paycheck from snow plowing. And I made the mistake of going to the store and going into the bank, and it was like, oh my God, zombie land extreme. Look, everybody, you got to understand, it's the immune system that this is attacking. It is the lungs that this is attacking.
Yeah.
Increase your immune system. Our immune systems are down, number one, because of the lack of vitamin D produced behind your eyes. Because the sunlight's not here, we're in winter. We're cloud covered most of the time. We're hiding indoors because it's so cold. We're under this fluorescent BS lighting because we're not allowed to have regular light bulbs. I mean, come on, get your vitamin D up. I listen to the doctor. I talk to the doctor. I've gone through it's phenomenal. Get your vitamin D up. It's winter. Get yourself on 15 to 20,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day. Get your system, get your immune system built up, get more calcium into your system. Your white blood cells come directly from your calcium through your bloodstream. If your calcium system is down, you have a chance of losing white blood cell and not being able to fend off a virus. And get yourself some colloidal silver. Bobby McNutt makes it. We've got to hassle him a little bit more to get on him and to get the purest kind possible. But Bobby McNutt makes colloidal silver. It's available. We don't have to worry about what the chemical sources are. I've been training him on how to do this stuff, and I've been doing it for years. This stuff is phenomenal. It assists the immune system. It doesn't stop it. It's not an antibiotic that shuts down every other form of white blood cell and immune system. It assists. It helps. Bacteria, life forms cannot exist in a silver-rich atmosphere. When you start ingesting 30 parts per million a day, you also become antibacterial internally. Not the bad bacteria, or the bad bacteria is what's getting nailed. The good bacteria, the gut bacteria, this stuff absorbs into your system so quick that it doesn't even get into your stomach because it starts absorbing into the organs above the stomach. There are organs there, the thyroid being one of the main ones. That's how iodine soaks into your system. As you're eating and the saliva starts coming in contact with this stuff, it starts absorbing directly into your throat, directly into the glands. A lot of these minerals do exactly that. Colloidal silver is another one. You can put it directly on your skin to stop a bacterial infection. I nearly ripped a finger off with a wedding ring because I have so much colloidal silver in my system. It cured itself, healed itself in 3 weeks, no stitches. And it was down to the bone. I could see the bone where the ring had gone in. Colloidal silver is phenomenal as an assistant to the white blood cell system. So if you want to start looking at your own system and what you can do for all other viruses, and there's millions of them on the planet, millions of them. This one just happens to be a weaponized version that they let loose or got out of control or whatever from whatever. With theory can get on my tinfoil hat. Increase your vitamin C. Increase your vitamin D intake. Start assisting your bones. Get some calcium into your system. Coral calcium, one of the closest ones that actually match the human bone. Get your hands on coral calcium from Okinawa, Japan. It's readily available almost everywhere. Get your hands on colloidal silver. Help yourself. Get ahead of the game on this before anybody breathes on you and potentially gives you another virus that some antibiotic has made you unimmune to, because that's what's going on. These antibiotics that they're giving people are a mass spectrum antibiotic, which shuts down your immune system. It stops your white blood cells. And that's what you need to fight off a virus. Get your calcium levels up. Get them up there. Do what you got to do. It's vitamin C, vitamin D. Get your calcium levels up and get your hands on colloidal silver. That's how you're going to defend yourself in this system and in what's going on right now. That's not the cure, but it'll stop it from getting in.
All right. All right, Ron, you want to hear a little thing that we found out?
Yeah, go for it.
We found an article from overseas that at some of the biolabs, the technicians there, after they were done experimenting on some of the animals while they were still alive, were selling them at the live food market.
Yep. They were paid to.
Yeah. And so then
somebody paid them to release those animals.
Yeah.
Follow the money. I always say that. I keep saying
that guy's been arrested. He made over $1 million and they arrested him.
Yeah.
But I also found another one that they were backtracking farther. They now have several cases back on November 15th.
Yep, and they still haven't found patient 0 yet.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so if those patients were from patient the patient 0 could have gotten sick back on November 1st.
And see, I learned about it on December 15th is when I learned about the virus. When the doctor that originally discovered it also made a video stating that he thought it was airborne at that time. That video was squashed by the CCP. That video is completely gone. It's not in my history. It's nowhere on YouTube anywhere. I was going to record it, and when I went to record it, it was gone.
The nanoparticles, while it will work, will also suspend itself in your skin. That's what caused the blue man, because he cheated the system to get as much colloidal silver as possible per batch. I do not recommend, if that's all you can get your hands on for a bottle, that's fine. I do not recommend using nano. You want colloidal. You want the all natural 12-volt release of the smallest possible particle, 30 parts per million, 15 parts per million in your clean water, mineral-free clean water. Not the nanoparticle. You want the colloidal particle down to 15 to 30 parts per million. You want it as small as possible so that when you reach the point that you are now full of the amount of colloidal silver your body will absorb, it can exit through the skin. So avoid nano. It's usable. If that's all you can get your hands on, I do not recommend it. You want to be looking at pure colloidal, 15 to 30 parts per million.
Yeah, T-Board, this morning, my daughter had a doctor's appointment she had to go to because she's pregnant. She went in wearing a mask and a face shield.
Absolutely.
So, and then she had to stop by and pick up some a prescription. So she was in there, face mask, face shield.
Nano silver. How can I explain nano silver? Nano silver is a highly accelerated, fast producing silver that breaks the molecule particles way too big. It cannot exit the human body. So you will actually get, and anyone can look it up, you will actually suffer from the blue man syndrome, where you will actually suspend silver in your flesh and turn yourself blue. Nanoparticles are not what we're looking for. We want colloidal particles, which is a much smaller microparticle created by 12 volts. What they did to create nano is they added another supplement to the water so that it would run to a higher voltage, and then they upped the amperage so that they could be producing 500 parts per million in the water and actually making a toxic form of it that they then watered it down to get it down to 15 to 30 parts per million. It still suspends in the skin and will not exit the body correctly.
Yeah.
You want colloidal silver.
Hey, Dave, can you bring my screen up again? Okay, I just put the link to this on Nano Silver, and yeah, it's yeah, even the EPA is saying no, and if the EPA is saying no, it's got to be bad.
Yeah, we know we can trust them.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is, if they're saying no,
and understand, a lot, even the CDC has come out and said colloidal silver won't work here. Understand, the funding for the CDC is coming from the chemical companies. A lot of people on the board at the CDC and the FDA are actually owners of the chemical companies. They don't want you knowing what natural cures are available for other things.
Yeah, I want the Smurf crew moderating, but I don't want you turning into Smurfs.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, they even got some research done from Carnegie Mellon University about it, and they say Yeah. So, anyways, here's if you want to read up on it, guys. There's that link. You can read up on the article and get some more information on it. But yep.
Now, see, the nanoparticles won't exit the skin because it's too big. It's not. The colloidal will exit the flesh. Nano won't. And if it's not done correctly, because they're speeding up the process, if it's not done correctly and it's not filtered down correctly, you could actually get a toxic bottle of silver.
Yeah.
And that's the last thing we need right now is any more toxins. We get enough as they spray in the air as it is.
Ionic and non-ionic is just the electric voltage being used. It's like AC to DC. It's which one and what's running what. There he is, Mr. Food Forest Permaculture. Hey, buddy. How you doing, Howie?
Hey, Howie.
Oh,
Brother, you're late.
Yeah, your ear should have been burning, Howie. He was talking about you earlier.
Dude, I've been talking for 2 hours, and man, I could have used your help up here, buddy.
there you go, Howie. If you want to come on up, brother.
Yeah.
Particle number is the size of the particle, not the amount.
Yes. Yes, you want 30 parts per million. At strongest 30 parts per million. 15 is fine. If you're just getting into it, 30 parts per million, awesome. Get your system up. Otherwise, 15 parts per million is all you need to just keep the silver level high in your system to be antibacterial. And you're assisting the body. Howie and Sherry are going to have other ways and other things, other natural remedies, both to detox and amplify this and amplify that. There's other natural ways of doing things. This is just what I'm saying. My doctor stated specifically towards this virus, this is that recipe to be looking at. Your vitamin C, your vitamin D, your calcium, and getting colloidal silver into your system.
How's it going, Howie?
Well, I was canning all day.
Yeah.
My brother from another mother. How you been, my friend?
Great, Ron. What's going on, buddy?
Not too much. Not too much at all. Sitting back, watching the idiots lose their mind at the store. I actually went out today and regretted every minute of it.
I actually thought it was quite comical to see everybody panicking. I thought, well, this is what this looks like. It was a learning experience for me.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing on the shelves again. I got eggs today.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. That was great. But I did a lot of canning. I went out for an hour, but here, I'll show you the canning that I made. I made, I don't know, a ton of these applesauce.
Dang, man.
They're from Ambrosia apples. I bought 100 pounds yesterday. I processed some 2 days ago, but they're in the big jar. But yeah. Oh, looks like I've got company. Oh, it's my family. Well, I can't stay long.
Okay.
Just
Still
kidding.
appreciate you stopping in all the same.
I'm just gonna take a second.
And once again, that last video that I commented on, Howie, your soil and correct me, I'm going to say it the wrong way. Your pathway soil gardening, absolutely phenomenal organic results. I could not believe the amount of food web you have got going in that pathway gardening. Incredible results. Loved every minute of that video. Because we've been talking about that, and I've been trying to get across that that's the whole point of this is the food web. And Howie produced a video where he showed the end results after what was it, a year of the food bank pathway something. Shoot, I hate when I do
Soil
this.
bank.
Soil bank, right? The
Pathway soil bank.
system.
Yeah.
He pulled it up and he opened it up, and you can see the food web.
It works.
And the little microscopic filaments going all over the place in what he's got going on there. Absolutely.
That was the
That's what's going
mycelium.
on in your garden,
That's the mycelium.
right?
Yeah, it's quite visible, hey?
It's unbelievable results.
It's the super highway of nutrient delivery, the mycelium. That's what you were looking at on my Pathway soil bank. That gray looking, looks like lines.
Right, the spiderweb stuff.
Well, it is a web. There's one in Washington State that's 2,200 hectares in size
Yeah.
or something like that. It's absolutely monstrous, one living organism.
One
It's
single
really
cell
weird.
organism. Yeah,
Well, there's
22
one in Africa,
acres.
the world's largest one's in Africa. But yeah, it's interesting stuff. But yeah, it's really cool. Once you
And
build Pathway soil bank, you'll always have soil.
Right. And this is why I say don't rototill. When you get those
No
microfilaments going, you destroy that. You expose it to sunlight. You expose it to too much air. You remove the water. Do not rototill. Just crack the soils open and get the organic material in there. Nature has its way. Worms will pull leaves down there and do this, that, and the mycelium go crazy. And it's unbelievable what it will do with all your plants, trees, bushes, flowers, grass. Everything goes crazy.
Yeah. Well, the nutrients are there. The microbes have broken it down so it's usable. It's pretty cool stuff. But Kathy there at North Star Prepstetter, she's right. I have ambrosia. I bought 100 pounds of ambrosias and I bottled them, most of them today and some a few days ago. But I'm going to do a little bit more in smaller jars to give away as little gifts or take picnicking or fishing. You don't want a big jar, so I can just take a small jar. So I'm going to do that tomorrow. But I made videos of everything and I'm putting it up tomorrow. I was too tired to go over it. But it just shows how to do water bath canning really easy. It's not rocket science. You don't need a pressure cooker. It's very simply done. So I'll put that up tomorrow. But Pathway Soil Bank, the sooner you start making it before spring, it's wonderful. Two people that just came in here, I'm not going to say their names, but they did a Pathway Soil Bank in their food forest over on the west coast of the island, and they really like the soil. They like doing it.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. The results absolutely phenomenal, and all we can do is improve on it and make it better.
Yeah, well, yeah, the mycelium, once it's in there and the microbes are in there, you don't have to do anything. It's just shallow till you can do. But there's not, when you grow something, it's so packed in nutrients that it just grows. Really, weeds don't bother. But I do aggressive mulching. I'll use my Pathway soil bank for mulch. I'll empty one, which I just did. I've emptied two now, a 5-year-old one, and I made video too. I just haven't put it up. And I've emptied a 1-year one.
Wow. I can't wait to see the 5-year. It's going to be phenomenal.
The 5-year one's is just like black.
Oh, I'll bet.
And then when you get down, there's these huge night crawlers. There's these monster night crawlers, and it's cool. I planted anything there. I planted 2 pawpaw in the 5-year one when I made it. And they're about 6 feet. The Tribola acetamina, the pawpaw fruit from the East Coast. I wanted it. It tastes like banana custard when you eat it. It's like,
Cool.
Yeah. I had to dig down 9 feet. It's got a taproot. I dug down 9 feet into the ground, and then I replaced it with the IMOs, the indigenous microorganisms, in layers with new soil that I had too, like from the pathway. And then when I put it there, the taproot will go straight down and hit a spring that goes underneath the property here.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, so it's about 5 or 6 feet tall now. So it's going to be interesting to see exotic fruit growing in Canada by itself. No microclimate, eh?
Oh my God, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, very cool. I have loquat in the greenhouse. I grow loquats in the greenhouse, and stuff like all different citrus.
Not to get us too far off topic, but what's your recommendations with this coronavirus? What's the best thing people can be eating and doing at home while we're all starting to get locked up and getting put down for 2 weeks? What can they do if they don't already have it at home?
Don't let anybody in to see you, and don't go anywhere and infect anyone.
Okay, but what should they eat? What's your recommendation there?
Well,
get to the grocery store and load up on
when you get over a flu. When you get over a flu, it's because you've built up enough antibodies, right?
Right.
You built up enough antibodies to fight it off. So how do you build up antibodies, your immunity? Well, you eat your carrots and your veggies from your ground with a little dirt on it. So those microbes go into your body, and then the antibodies go, oh no, you can't live here. So it builds up a huge immunity. So when that coronavirus or any other virus comes along, flu, whatever you want to call it, it's not going to phase you. That's why it doesn't phase some people, and other people it kills them.
Right.
But I mean, don't quote me on that. I'm not a doctor. I'm just a mere earthling.
Right. None of us are doctors. We don't claim to have the cure here. This is just our educated opinion.
Yeah. Eat fresh vegetables with a little soil on it. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm pickling some of my sunchokes. I'm making a video on that too. And it should be fun times coming up because it's all this food's available. So what I did is I went around my community and I just had a look around and see what's actually here that I could use. And I'm going fishing next week. So I'm going to stock up a little bit more. But I'm also going to go and check out on one of my base camps, make sure my food and water and stoves are there. I want to make sure before I show up that someone didn't else find it. I mean, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't find my stash anyway, but you just never know.
Right.
And there's always someone with a dog, right, that'll sniff it out, right? People train their dogs to do that. But yeah, so it should be an interesting bunch of videos coming out in the future. If you don't want coronavirus, lock your door.
Great solution.
Lock your door, man.
Yeah. Oh, I just put a new HEPA filter in our AC system yesterday.
What micron is that?
I know it's the biggest one. It was the heaviest duty one Home Depot had.
Nice. Well, I have to go. I have family here. They're from the West Coast, and I want to talk to them about moving some trees there. So I got to let you all go. It's been a pleasure to see you again, Ron. Take care.
We'll see you, my friend.
Book, Ron. It was a good book.
Appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
See you, Dave. Good night, Gil.
See ya.
I'll be right back. My coffee cup is empty.
Your coffee cup's empty. Well, I'm surprised that Howie didn't mention eating a beet a day to help your immunity system.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked he didn't go over a list. I thought he would have had one prepared, but
yeah,
I think we caught him off guard a little bit.
He actually got me eating beets. I have not liked beets since I was a little kid, but I got a thing of baby beets, so I eat one a day, like he said. Oh, here she is. Heaven's Essentials.
Heaven's Essentials. Hey, Miss Soap Lady, we needed you earlier and you weren't here. How dare you?
Yeah, Dave gave you all sorts of stuff. Told everybody they can contact you on Discord. Julie's here. Yeah.
That's okay. You're forgiven. You are from that state, so we'll cut you a little bit of slack. But again, if you need fresh soaps that are natural, that will make you feel clean and not covered in gunk, then please hit up Heaven's Essentials. You can get a hold of her very easily through Discord. If you haven't been to Discord yet, I did post a link earlier.
Yeah. Just scroll back through the chat.
If not, private message or send me an email and I'll get you your own personal link just for you.
Really?
Yeah.
That don't seem right. He put out the pre-notice. He put out an earlier morning notice after I got in contact with him and said I was available today.
It's normal. They've been playing with my channel quite a bit.
Oh, yeah. YouTube's playing with her again. She didn't get the notice.
Ring and unring. Unsubscribe, resubscribe, ring and unring the bell while you're still in the room. And re-trigger the bot so it relocks it in.
Yeah.
And no, this is not future food.
No.
Although she's getting pretty damn fat.
That's a young kitten right there, boy.
You should have seen her when I first got her. One of the neighbors here kicked her because she went to pick it up as a kitten and it clawed her. So that the lady kicked her so hard that the right side of her nose was so full of blood, she had to sleep with her head up because she couldn't breathe.
Oh, God.
I mean, at the time she was, she fit in my hand.
What the hell is wrong with people?
Oh, it's not a Christian thought. It wasn't going to be a Christian action, but I sure felt like giving her the same taste.
Yeah,
I did.
right. I agree. It's now a felony. It's animal
Yeah.
abuse. It's now a felony.
Yep.
Yeah. Old man put out a nice little thing there. He goes, he loves beet greens, but doesn't like large beets. Yeah, oh, wow. You're right. We're loaded with Smurfs,
It's all blue.
except for old man.
Hey, you cannot trust them salty old dogs, man. I'm telling you.
Well, if I've covered everything I can help you with
Yeah.
and tossed my opinion around enough, I'll step aside and let you guys do your thing and stick around and chat.
Well, I greatly appreciate you coming up here this evening.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you so much for the invitation.
And folks,
I learned a lot.
Yeah, I know one or two things,
right there, folks.
but I greatly appreciate your time. I'm going to step aside and jump into chat and let you guys take over from here. Again, thank you so much for having me on tonight.
Again, I appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
All right. And let me throw, and there's the link to that Amazon page. And so I beat Kathy to it. Oh, sorry.
Be careful. Be careful. She is a vengeful moderator. I have seen that woman in action.
Yeah.
Hey, old man, you better check the color of your skin there.
He's blue. He's Papa Smurf.
Hey, just because he's old enough, don't mean you have to call him Papa Smurf. Yes,
All
folks.
right.
Ron is a heck of a great guy. If you're doing live streams and you want somebody to, help get out to the community a better way to fix their soil, then please contact him.
And so,
I didn't say anything nasty, Kathy. I said that you're a very vengeful moderator.
and
If
for
he
me to
steps
treat
out
you
of line,
nice.
you bump him.
I need to add something to this. I have to look that up again.
What's that?
How to spell Sherry's name. The IE, I think it's IE. 1R.
Excuse me.
Sherry B. Making sure I put that on there. And so I've heard, not this Saturday, the next Saturday, we'll go over the keto diet. And then the following Saturday, Ron will be on here to talking about fixing your food bank. I'll probably get how would probably sneak up in here too.
Yeah, as long as none of you Smurfs bring Gargamel and Azrael, we're doing good. Of course, I do have a cat here, so I guess I could say I've got Azrael.
I was about ready to say that.
Hey, there's other people in here that have kittens too, so.
Yep.
So if we don't find Gargamel, we're doing good.
And yep. So that tomorrow is Thursday.
T-Bird's telling you there, Gil.
Sherry K. Yep. All right. Thank you. I couldn't find her thing there, so I had to spell it.
She has no content. At least not that
Yeah, I know. I checked. Sherry K. Sherry, come on. Great. It's acting up.
I agree. And that's one of the things is, and I really distaste the word prepper because it brings such negative connotations to everybody else. But in this situation, we are going, here in Ohio, we're locked down for 2 weeks. The only thing they didn't say is shelter in place. And I only give it a few more days before they say shelter in place. So we have to start concerning ourselves with our mental state. And there are foods that'll help with mental state. Certain teas are great for it. Ron's already mentioned a couple. Sherry mentioned a couple. Kathy's got a couple. I think Heavens has one or two because she sent me a couple bags that I haven't drank yet, but I will be here soon because, well, my coffee can's a little empty and I'm gonna have to have something nice and hot to drink in the morning when I wake up. So, teas, other natural things like that, essential oils will also help calm your mood. For me, patchouli is one that actually, if I put a couple drops in the fan and turn the fan on, I will fall asleep almost instantly because it's a relaxing fragrance to me. Some women wear it as a perfume and I have to walk the distance away. No, Julie, not that stuff. No. That makes you more hungry. That makes you eat all the food you do have, and then you are out and you no longer need all that TP paper you bought. But finding ways to exercise your brain, reading the Bible is a good one. That's just a personal thought. I actually posted something in the Bible chat on Discord for you guys to go check out at your leisure. Yeah, Bobby likes crayons. But it's one of the reasons I created the Discord channel, to give us a way to chat. And now that some of us are going to be locked up, we're not going to be able to get out and talk to people. That makes it real easy to talk and get together. And sometimes being able to vent can help somebody's mental state more than shoving them into a room, telling them you can't go nowhere for the next 2 weeks. Their brains are going to go stir crazy. You've heard of cabin fever? Times it by 10 when they can't get out at all. Yeah, unfortunately, I understand what you're saying, North Star. No, unfortunately, Julie, those who hoarded the hostesses are not going to be in good shape. They're going to be 500 pounds, stopped up, can't use the bathroom. That TP is going to be sitting there laughing at them. And when they finally do go, they're going to plug their toilet up so doggone bad, and nobody's going to come to fix it. That's the only thing we don't have in my house right now are snacks. And I'm not depressed about that. What you working on there, Mr. Gill?
My
Oh, you're a Skidimo?
yeah, everything went on me here, and all my Excel closed out, so I have to fix everything here real quick here.
No problem,
And-
Kathy. I aim to please once a week. Today just happens to be your day. Oh, don't get me wrong, Julie. I love my chocolate too. And chocolate is a comfort food. Some people can mellow out on chocolate, as long as it's not too much, of course.
There we go. Okay, so.
So your thoughts on the
okay.
Mr. Gill, now that you're done tinkering with your computers?
My thoughts on what now again?
Mental state and how to alleviate stress in this time of stressful things. Because a lot of people are about ready to go stir crazy.
Well, probably
That's good, old man.
curl up with the Green Wizard guide and read it.
Okay, that's one solution. I was referring to something other than tonight's stream.
Well, the other thing also, what games. There are a lot. If you have family games, if you have a family to play with, do games. My oldest son, who is 23, he plays a lot of computer games. Hey, you can't get out. There are a lot of computer games not on your computer where he could play not Forges of Empire, one of the other couple of the other ones. And he's on with other people, and so he has his gaming headset on and stuff. And he's talking, and of course, my son, the little clue is that he's got Asperger's, so he's not a social person in person, but he's become a very social person on some of these game channels. and to hear him laughing on some of the stuff and cracking jokes on there is amazing. So, for him, it's not going to be any difference for him. He's going to be doing his social stuff online. That's it. Discord is going to be a place a lot for people to talk. A lot. Everyone use Discord. You can do the voice chat. You can do typing chat. So Dave's working on finding out how to get more bang from the buck out of it as far as chatting goes. Hey, you don't have to stay in the house if you have a yard. Go out and do yard work. And if you're worried about it, wear a bandana. But the breeze is out there and you should be protected. You're not close to somebody.
All right. Thank you, Bobby, for being here. Thank you so much for helping out.
Yeah. Thanks, Bobby. And yeah, there's a lot of things you can do to keep your mind busy, and research stuff, gardening. Besides his go watch a bunch of Howie's videos, watch some of Ron's, watch some of Bobby's videos, guys. More stuff to do and learn, and do it with a notebook. That makes it really take notes.
You learn, but in threes as a rule. People learn mainly in one of three ways, but you usually have to do that the way you learn in three different ways.
Yeah.
Some do it by seeing, some can do it by hearing, and others have to do it by actual physical activity. And whatever way works best for you, do that in three. So if you find a video you think you're getting something out of, go back a couple days later and watch it again, and it'll start to imprint itself into your brain.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Julie, I was talking to Scott at Hidden Valley. He was, he's down in LA. He actually had a clear day today, but he said it's been raining for the last, 2 weeks down there in LA. He has not had a chance to ride his motorcycle.
Oh, poor baby.
But when we were talking on the phone there, he's not going to be riding his motorcycle so long as this is going on.
Nope.
We were chatting about what he had in his truck. Well, he forgot. Right now he's at home. He's putting in a week's worth of food in his truck, several changes of clothes and stuff, and a sleeping bag in case he has to stay at the job site there till if he gets stuck down there. But he had 1 day's worth of food. No, you need to have 7 days at least in your truck there with you. So he's putting 7 days worth of food in there, clothes, other stuff. He's got his CCW permit. So, but he's putting a couple extra mags in the truck as well as actually a couple and an extra box as well to go with it.
Yeah,
So,
and for the general populace, watching them run to a gun store, and the funny thing is, it's the general populace. It's not preppers running to gun stores. It's not, because they've already got their stuff. It's the kooks out there that called us nutcases 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Will is doing good, old man. He's back at home, actually. It's those people that called us nuts that are running out trying to buy all this stuff. And when a friend of mine says, hey, do you know where I can find some ammunition? I've reached out and haven't heard back from nobody yet. So that's telling me that the kooks have got it all.
Yeah. Well, actually, I was at Cabela's today because I finally, I pulled something out that I got for my daughter. She hadn't gotten ammunition for it. So I went and got a couple little rounds for it, that revolver. So I got some 22 mag shot shells for it. But they were busy restocking the ammunition. It looked like the paper towel aisle at Sam's Club, but there weren't that many people in there in the store.
But
there weren't that many. Yeah, that's in my state.
Where he's from, just made itself a full Second Amendment sanctuary whole state.
Yeah.
Hey, there is Will just in time. Prepping.
Hey, Will.
John Bud. But
Yeah.
where he's at, they're out everywhere. And a lot of the mail order places that I'm used to dealing with, that I've talked to, I know people there, they're out. They're not selling nothing and they're not shipping anything.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was looking at Cheaper Than Dirt online today, and I was going to get see how much it was for the 22 shorts,
Mhm.
and it was inexpensive, but to get one box of 22 shorts and one box of the 22 CCI shot shells, just for those two little boxes, 50 rounds of the one and 20 rounds of the other, $15 shipping. Like, no, I'll go brave Cabela's. And there was nobody, like I said, there was hardly anybody in Cabela's. I got a parking space right up front. There may have been 20 people in the whole store, and only 3 over in the ammunition area. Hey, Will, let us know if you want us to cover and do a Monday night for you next week, if you're not going to be up for it. But yeah.
So, folks, again, the mental state is going to be the first thing that starts to collapse in your home.
Yeah.
And you've got to work on being able to keep your mind active. Sitting on your couch and vegetating is the worst thing you can do, because that will also lower your immune system.
Yeah. You need to keep busy doing stuff, keep your mentally alert, doing things. And let's see here. Trying to pull something up here. My wife's been posting stuff for about that for kids.
Mhm.
And I'm trying to find, really? Come on, let's go.
Yeah, they're doing that to a lot of people.
Facebook has just stopped. I only got two things on Facebook.
Yeah, it's going to actually get worse. They've admitted in the past that when things cause people
Here we
to
go.
stay out for whatever reason, like snowstorms, they get overloaded.
All right. So just I can now see us out on there right now.
Scary.
Yeah, for your post on Facebook for tonight's. There it goes. Now it's starting. Let's see if I can scroll down here. There was the thing.
Well, did you see, Julie? Now you'll have to set some time aside, you and the hubby, and sit back and watch the beginning of it.
Yeah. Come on, where is it?
Why don't you want to find it easiest? Go click on her name, go to her page.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's what I got to do.
Yeah. All right. So let me go up here. All right. So. Yeah. Okay. There she is. And now I got to go to hers. Ta-da. Ooh, she changed the background on hers. She put one of the falls up here in Idaho up there on hers. Okay. Okay. Here we go. If you want to put that up there.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okie dokie. I take no responsibility for the content you see.
Okay. So she's been posting stuff like 50 summer games, activities for kids. They don't have to wait for summer on some of these. And let's go back here. Here we go. Here's some of the stuff, about things you can do and play. If you got kids, play with them. So if you have kids, this is the one to keep them going nuts. Independent study packets, stuff for, kids. And yeah, Scholastic has stuff out. And a schedule for kids, school time, wake up, it's stuff to be doing, keep it busy. Adults, make yourself a schedule so you're not there just going, what should I do? And okay, that's it. That's the stuff that she's been posting on the things there. But yeah, there's a lot of games out there to do, and it's not just. Hey, who remembers playing Sorry? Look in your closet. You may have Sorry there, or Monopoly.
Risk.
Yes, exactly. The old board games, guys. Look in the closet. Get them out.
I was a master at Risk.
Yeah.
Risk is a mental game, pure 100% unadulterated mental game.
And it's
If you
fun.
don't have the mentality to play a strategy game, then don't play Risk, because you will get
Oh.
very frustrated playing people like me who literally swarm the whole board.
Stratego.
Oh yes, Stratego was fun too.
Yes.
Do you see what Will just put?
I have gummy worms. keep kids crazy.
I actually have a Monopoly game in here I haven't cracked open because Charles doesn't have the focus to play it.
Yeah. But there are other games.
And it's about 3 seconds.
Yeah. We my oldest grandson just turned 6. He's heavy on high on the scale, on the autism scale. He's just now learning to speak a few words and stuff. But my wife brought something from California because of what he was doing here. He found my daughter found the magnetic alphabet and put it on the fridge, and it was all scrambled, and he put it almost exactly in order right. So my wife bought a couple different magnet ones and brought them up here, and I went and got a 4-foot board from magnetic whiteboard from Sam's Club. We put it up in the room upstairs here, and I have my little refrigerator up here. So they got the capital letters on one, the small letters on the other, and all these little things like one has a bus, a police car, ice cream cone for the different letters and stuff. And yeah, he gets up here and he'll play for hours up here when he's by himself.
I haven't played Yahtzee in ages.
Oh, I love Yahtzee. Chess. Ooh, that's right.
I mean, there's a simple move I learned. God, I couldn't have been much more than 12 years old. I learned a chess master's move that you can win against 90% of the people in like 12 moves. It's guaranteed checkmate.
Mm-hmm. Well, don't put the cups in the dice in the cup. Keep it in your hand and just shake it in your hand and toss it out there. Books by Louis L'Amour. Yeah. Well, there's some other really good books out there too.
I like the oh God, I can't think of the name of the author right now, but he writes Mac Bolan, Able Team, Phoenix Force, stuff like that.
Go to the old ones. Tarzan, Edgar Rice Burroughs, Tarzan, and the Mars one, Carter. What's his name? Carter on Mars. Yeah,
Hey,
good ones.
Julie, we can do that via Discord. If everybody has, or if 1 or 2 people have the dice in the game, all you got to do is make a sheet of paper with the proper lines on it, and everybody could play it that way. Just one person have to sit there and shake for a couple of people. That's all.
You know, I'm willing to bet that there is an automated thing online where you can find where it rolls the dice for you. Everybody just hits it. Yeah.
Tom Clancy's pretty good too.
One of my favorites was William J. Johnstone. He wrote a bunch of Westerns, but he also wrote a very good survival prepper series called The Ashes. The Ashes series is absolutely fabulous. And I got just about all of his books. I think I'm missing the last 2 books. And then the other one was Jerry Ahern did the Survivalist series. Very good.
Twister doesn't work keeping a 6-foot distance.
Oh, Vegas is shutting down.
Yep. Kaput.
Good put. This week, a couple days ago, the MGM went first, and everybody else is following.
They don't have a choice.
Yeah. Well, they're doing it before the state says to do it.
Mm-hmm. And no, Tibor, that wasn't what you asked earlier. But hey, you can come on over still. Just bring your own PPE gear. I'm not sharing.
Playing Twister in Tyvek suits.
With full mask, goggles, and respirators on.
Little booties in the gloves. Now, I would love to catch that on video.
I could just see it now. Somebody trying to reach across somebody and knock their face mask off.
Then everybody collapses in the pile.
Then they're all infected. Oh no. See, Evans has already got it started. She can copy and send sheets on the Discord. I hear a Yahtzee game coming. And one thing, if we find a Yahtzee emulator online, there's no way to cheat.
Yeah. Well,
Go ahead.
it's just trying to think. One of the channels I was following, I can't remember which one it is off the top of my head right now. I think it may have been North Country Off Grid or something. They were watching. Whoever was watching on Netflix was watching a movie, and something else popped up as the most watched movie right now. The one with Dustin Hoffman, Outbreak.
Pandemic's another one that's getting a lot of watches too.
Yeah, and he goes, "Oh, we should never have done that." Well, I told him, "Well, follow it up." And I can't remember which one I popped off. I popped off another one. He goes, "You're an evil man." So I gave him a list of 6 other pandemic movies to watch.
Yeah, well, you want to watch how not to do things? Watch one of those.
Yeah. Order and finally receive 14 boxes of sodium-free bouillon. Ooh.
Don't mind me. I'm trying to check something right now, but this computer's acting flaky. It's going, no more work. Please don't do it to me.
Yeah. But yeah, we when I was 3 days ago, I stopped at the local store here. They just gotten in several pallets of brown sugar and powdered sugar and 25-pound bags of flour. And so they're usually in the spring, they have a wholesale case sale. And so, hey, Howie, see you back.
Hey.
And oh yeah, T-Bar. I noticed that too at Sam's. The jerky hadn't been touched. Stupid.
Man, that's a survival food.
Oh yeah, but they were just getting. They're starting to get in their supply that they had ordered months ago for their case sale. So,
Hey, Gil.
yeah.
What was the last number you had for the U.S.?
All right, U.S. Let me fire it up here. Pull this up.
On your sheet.
That's what I'm pulling my sheet up right now, and I'm going to look at the live as well. I had 93.85, and the live says 94.13.
I got 94.36 on the Roy Lab.
Roy Lab. I'm looking at Roy Lab. Wait. Dang on. Let me update it to live. Dang it. Yeah, 94.36. All right, so 94.36. 36, and the Boot Hill is 155.
You're right, Julie. Now that we've mentioned jerky, that's a survival prepper's food. They'll be all gone.
Yeah.
You did not hear that from this channel. Survival food does not include jerky. Leave it alone so we can buy it.
Oh, however, it does include the dog jerky, the doggy jerky treats. Yeah, mislead people off to go getting the other stuff. Okay, so
CT in here? Did CT show up?
Canadian Trucker?
No, Corsair Trainers.
Corsair. Oh, Steve? No, I have not seen Steve.
Oh, heavens asked.
No, I have not seen Steve.
I thought maybe he was hiding in the shadows and just peeked out for a second.
Yeah, it's a gardening one. He admits he doesn't know how to garden. and doesn't and really isn't planning on gardening, other than the little couple of pots he has on his patio there. Steve rushed out to buy all the turkey.
Gone crazy.
That's right, Tibor. All right, so, all right. Well, we're still, it's still kind of fluctuating small today. The rate went up from 52 to 58,
Mhm.
but it went up, from 11 o'clock my time, Mountain Time. So it's been now 22 and a half hours. So in the last 22 and a half hours, the Red Dragon has gone up 2,921 US cases.
Yeah, he does
That
look.
That's almost double what it went up yesterday.
Yes. And what was my comment a week ago? It was going to start doubling.
Yeah. And yesterday's was almost double the day before.
Awesome, Howie.
So let me do one more thing here. I'm going to go plus this. So I'm going to go from Monday night, not plus, backspace, minus Monday nights. We've gone up 4,709 since Monday night. And that was Monday night at 11:30 p.m. Mountain Time. So it was, that's 46 and a half hours ago. It's gone up 4,700. So basically 100 an hour since Monday night.
But again, there's nothing to fear. I mean,
Yeah, if you're prepared.
all time, and this one's new. We don't have a vaccine for it, but let's do our due diligence by following some protocols. Keep distance. That's why Gil's now 2.5 feet away from me on his screen, and we've got distance here. Hold on, there we go. Now we've got our distance. Let's act like the TV hosts and on mainstream media and scream at the microphone.
Can you hear me?
Nope. But when we first started talking about this a lot, we said, look at China's lack of numbers, look at Singapore, look at South Korea. They're the gold standard as far as trying to put this in as much control as we humanly can, short of God's intervention. So, let's kind of follow their model. Let's do a little bit of social distancing. Let's not go out unless we have to. But there's nothing to sit here and freak out over. Unless, of course, you were one of the ones that waited the last possible second to go try and find food.
Mm-hmm.
I know people like that, and they're scrambling now. They are panicking. And the more they panic, causes other people around them to panic. And then panic breeds more panic, breeds more panic. And eventually, we're going to have social disruption.
Right.
As long as we stay calm and can provide a calming influence and say, look, man, just chill out, man. Don't worry about it. If they're close friends, say, look, man, here's a small box of canned goods to help you out till you can actually get some from a store. Yes, they are, but they're doing a better job of finding out who has it than we are.
Yeah.
And the experts, and I'll use that term loosely because they're on mainstream media touting that they know it all, which none of us do. They're saying we're anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks behind Spain as far as our peak.
Yeah. Okay. And here's the thing to consider. Today, we passed South Korea, and then we passed France. This over here on the standings.
Bring that up so y'all can see it.
And let me focus it better because I got it on a low resolution. Let me put it on a better resolution here so everybody can see it good. It's there we go, nice and sharp.
And Kathy, that's unfortunately, I have one neighbor who thinks telling everybody that I might have something is her way of getting in good with them, but they're going to come up and they're not going to like what they meet when they come to my door. It's like, look, no, I didn't offer you anything. I don't know you. The tip of my sword is just the tip of what you're going to see if you try coming through my door. I will be polite and gently turn them away and hope they never come back.
Oh, Dave, I just had a thought.
What?
You need to make up a sign saying with the funky, all of the 3 circles they use for biohazard and stuff, and put quarantine on it and put it on your front door.
Actually, I've got a biohazard bag thanks to Doc Bones and Nurse Amy, and I'm going to stick that to the door and the back door. Biohazard under containment. Do not enter. No, that's one way to keep people off your doorstep is get yourself a containment sticker or something to put on your door or your window.
Yeah. So let me, this is going to be fun. Give me a second here.
Well, see, I actually have a couple rolls of the, and you blow through it toilet paper, the real cheap stuff.
Yeah.
If somebody's really desperate, that's what I'll give them. I'm keeping that 2-ply Sherman for me and Charles.
There we go.
Bing, bing,
Guys, you can just download your own biohazard sign and print it off on your color printer and stick it to your front door.
I don't have a printer.
Oh, sorry.
Everything else in this house, all the technology I have, I do not own a printer.
Damn. Oops, sorry. Didn't mean to swear.
That's not too bad. Trust me, I've been aggravated lately enough to say a few other words that are choice and shouldn't be said in the first place.
I'm going to have to see about printing a couple off and getting with the neighbors and putting some signs up.
You see that green one right there?
That one?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me do something.
Oh, you can buy that sticker for $6.65 from Zazzle.
I'll be right back. Don't go nowhere.
I'm not going anywhere. But you left this up so I get to play. All right. Infectious waste area. Yeah, I played around at
I just
at work. My one of my last weeks there, one of the guys had a cold, and I put a bunch printed off a bunch of signs and put them all over the place. Funny, it was at least he had a good sense of humor, and he was laughing. He goes, "Can I keep these?" So yeah, he kept them. But yeah, I even had a couple.
I's under quarantine. You cannot come near my home. Please do not enter. You will wind up sick and die. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Oh, but I also found the signs that said quarantine as well, and so I printed off the biohazard and put quarantine on it, and yeah. So biohazard. Hang on, let me really do it here.
And see, this is a medical biohazard, so it's green. It's not a radiological one, so it's not orange.
Oh, sorry, I forgot the T. Quarantine sign. There we go. Oh, there you go, right here. There's the good one to get. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually wish I could print that one off. I'd paste it to my door. I ought to try and find a big enough, good sized piece of wood and burn that and then glue it to my door.
Oh, speaking of which, there was something I wanted to show you.
What?
In a second, let me open this up here, and then I'll move it around. Idea for your burning. Let me move this over here, my email. This is being done by Olivia, Scott, Hidden Valley Homestead's wife. She's doing leather tag. I'm not sure, but can you burn leather?
Yeah, it can.
All right. Will knows the supply of leather and stuff.
If I
So
had a car, I could go buy it here in the town not too far from me. I just
Yeah.
can't get out of the house.
Yeah.
And right now, I don't want to get out of the house.
yeah, I wouldn't blame you either. But that's that's an idea for your laser burner is to do little leather key fobs.
Lori went to bed a little while ago there, Heavens. She wasn't feeling too good. You both missed her. She was here at the beginning.
Yeah. And she was very active.
Yep. The only downside I see with me trying to sell anything right now is guess what? People are fixed to be off work, not making no money. Ain't nobody going to have any money to buy something.
Right.
So, I mean, it was an endeavor that may have fallen flat on its face.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. When Kathy, putting a sign like that on your door, Amazon won't deliver. Or what you do, you put a box out there, put Amazon deliver in this box.
You can request a no-touch delivery. DoorDash is doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Or it's not no touch, it's no face or something like that. I don't
Yeah.
remember what they called it.
Yeah, ours here, I mean, out here, the guy doesn't even bother knocking on. I put a brand new doorbell in, wireless doorbell, so it rings up here where I'm at, rings downstairs where my daughter's at. They just bring it up, drop it right there on a box that's sitting out there, and they don't even, bother, knocking. They've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah, I keep monitoring my property, so to speak. It's not my property, but the location where I reside.
Yeah.
Can you blame them there, Kathy?
Tibor
Oh,
says,
FedEx, how you doing today? Can I have my package now? He's gonna drop the box and run like crazy. He ain't gonna come anywhere near you. He might even run off screen. Ah!
oh, there was something I meant to bring up when
Excuse me.
when Ron was still in here. He was talking about taking calcium and stuff like that. My chiropractor gave me a warning about taking too much calcium. He goes, yeah, calcium's fine, but you don't want to take too much, because calcium can also cause muscle cramps.
Yep.
And he told me this is what you have to take with your calcium, because it counteracts the muscle cramps and some of the and your body building accumulating too much calcium. So the magnesium is the thing you got to take with the calcium to balance your body.
But I can already tell you what both him and Howie would say. Both Ron and Howie would say, build up your garden.
Yeah, exactly. Get your garden going first, so you don't have to worry about. So you're getting all your nutrients through that stuff below my picture and below your green ugly sign. There, eat your stuff. Plant your garlic. Plant your other stuff. Yes, and it helps with Julie. The magnesium helps eliminate, keeps you from getting your stones.
And we're not talking the Rolling Stones from the 70s either.
I almost broke out into a song, but Lori's not here, so I can't, But yeah.
Almost swallowed my cough drop.
Okay. 39. Ooh. Okay. So in the last couple minutes, it's gone up 3 more.
And mind you, it's going to do this.
Yeah, all day long.
The more numbers are going to go up. It will peak. This will pass.
Yeah.
And I do believe I posted it in the Bible chat. Hold on, let me check real quick.
That froze.
Yes. Number 16, verse 41 to verse 50. Kathy read it. And it's the story about where God was very, very, very upset with his people.
Yeah.
And he told Moses and Aaron to get away from the people so he could consume them. And Moses told Aaron, grab fire, fill the censers, lay incense on top, and stand between the dead and the living. and God stayed his judgment. The virus was stopped. All we can do now in this case is pray.
Okay, bring me up. Bring up my thing here. I'm going to pause it here.
Bing.
Okay, so let me bring this up to full view here, full screen. Give it a second here. It's going to come up because this, all right. This one here is Italy. This one is Iran. This one is Spain. And then the blue one is South Korea, and then above, but we should be above them now. Trying to make sure I got the numbers right. It looks like the white and the other one is starting to climb here. We're going to go like these other ones here very shortly in the next day or two. Yeah, because this one, the numbers here on this one, this is here. This was yesterday's chart that's on here. They haven't updated the chart to show today's skyrocket. We should be up right about here on the chart because we are behind Germany and or Spain. Is that so? We're because we've passed South Korea and France. So, but it's they're still showing these high numbers here. This is just the deaths. The deaths are coming up too, but we are going to go like that here shortly as well, because our numbers are going up so fast over here.
As the expert said, it will be an exponential climb. And that's coming from experts, not me, not Gil, because we're nobodies. We're just a bunch of goofballs sitting here on YouTube talking about what they're talking about. I'm not saying that I know everything because I don't.
Yeah. So as the deaths are going up, so are going to, ours are going to start climbing too. Here we're at 150. Our numbers, our cases past France,
All right,
but
Kathy,
France is still ahead of us on the deaths. And these are the people, these deaths, folks, are those that are not following proper procedures. You notice how low South Korea is? Hey, they wear gloves all the time. They're like China. They wear gloves a lot. Not China, I mean Japan. They wear gloves a lot. They they follow clean procedures and stuff. France, hey, you look at historically in France. I'm sorry, but anybody who poops in the stairwells of the Louis XIV's big palace, because they didn't put toilets in. I'm sorry, French are not a clean people to me. I'm sorry, but Germany. Look at Germany here on their deaths, way down below us. In their case, they got higher cases. They were practicing social distancing.
And they just put their entire country on lockdown. They closed the borders. France is all up in arms over it.
Yeah. Oh, you can't do that. We're part of the European Union. Sorry, we're doing it. Yeah. So
and I see Tibor is trying to take over Jay's position by being the comedian tonight.
Like Kathy, what did Tibor say? If you're a man who gives, lives in glass houses, change clothes in basement. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Tibor. Yeah. Heaven Essentials, they're not clean. Yeah. So
the whole thing, folks, is not to panic. There's no reason to panic.
All right.
Not just this is what we talk about. We talk about various scenarios. And while pandemic is not a scenario we've actually discussed in length of any kind, it still falls along in the lines of being prepared for whatever may happen. You've been storing water and food for hurricane, tornado, whatever. Well, you want to get technical, a virus is a type of tornado.
Yeah.
Because it swirls through the population. I'm not going to go any further than that because I don't have proof. So,
okay.
I had a dream a couple of years back that I wrote down and haven't forgotten it. Oh, heck, I'll tell the dream anyway. A couple of years ago, I was asleep, obviously, hence dreaming. And in my dream, I heard a noise. I looked up off the distance. I could see tornadoes coming, but I couldn't see them very clearly. And I realized I was near Washington, D.C. So I tried running into the building I was next to. And when I finally got into it, it was a maze of rooms and all windows. And I'm thinking, tornado, I got to get away from the windows. Because you know what happens with windows and tornadoes, they break. And the more I ran down, the closer the tornadoes got. And eventually I could see, after like 2 or 3 minutes of running through this maze of rooms and stuff, I could see the tornadoes were white and absolutely white in color, pure white tornadoes, which they're not even that color when they're over the ocean. And about another minute, as it kept getting closer and closer, I finally realized it was the finger of God passing judgment. And that's the second I actually sat down on a bench next to a window and just watched. Then I woke up. So I don't know if this is related to what's going on, but if you all go back to a live stream I did a while back talking about the Bible, I said that, I actually mentioned it too in the Patriot Call to Action, that America was spared judgment. We were given a reprieve. And if we didn't humble ourselves and pray, that the judgment would not be passed a second time. This very well, and I'm not saying it is, I'm not trying to, say this is God's will. I don't know, because he didn't tell me. But this very well could be America's judgment for failing to fall on its knees and go back to worshiping God the way our country was originally founded. So that's just my 2 cents on that subject.
Okay, where is it here?
What you looking for?
A scripture for you.
Which one?
From the LDS Church, Doctrine and Covenants. Come on, where is it? I know it's in here.
It's over there by the other one. Yeah, I know Jay's been kind of missing lately.
Okay.
True
All right,
for-
let me look at the other way here.
See who, what, where?
DNC, trying to find it. Okay. Verse 15. Oh, it's not coming up right.
That's my problem. I can remember verses in the Bible, but I forget where they're at.
Yeah.
And when I read the Bible, I don't see the numbers, so I can't go back and say yes. It's like everybody knows what John 3:16 is or Psalm 91, but I can't pick a certain verse out of out of the Bible and say yes, this is where it says that. I've never been able to.
Nope, that's not the one. Crud.
Do you remember what the verse was about?
Yes, basically the part of the verse is, if ye are prepared, ye shall not fear. But there's more to it. I wanted to find the rest of it, but my search is not bringing it up. It's bringing up everything else bouncing around it. Let's try verse 30.
What program are you using to?
There we go. I found it. I mean, it was pulling up everything else here. So
I use Bible Gateway.
yeah. Well, this is like I said. This is okay. Come on here. All right. So let me bring it over here. I don't know if you want to share this or not. But so Doctrine and Covenants, section 38, verse 30. I tell you things that because of your prayers, wherefore treasure up wisdom in your bosom, Least the wickedness of men reveal these things unto you, and by their wickednesses in a manner which shall speak in your ears with a voice louder than that which shall shake the earth. But if you are prepared, you shall not fear. In other words, don't listen to all the fear mongers out there and all the stuff saying, oh, do this, do that, we got to do this. No, listen to the Lord, be prepared, and you shall not fear.
And so, guys, the old saying goes, there's nothing to fear except fear itself.
Yeah.
If you're fearful, you will drive yourself mad in fearing what you can't control. And besides, God did not give us a spirit of fear, but one of love and humbleness,
Yeah.
compassion and caring.
Okay, so I can kill that one now. So,
Hey, Tibor, you fear nothing? I dare you to walk outside with no PPE gear and walk into a crowded room. I fear God. I have a healthy respect for a virus I can't see. I'm not going to know I have it or don't have it until it's too late. I have a healthy respect for it. I fear God because only He can decide whether or not I go to heaven or hell. He's the one that can condemn my soul if my prayers and belief in Jesus aren't enough. You're fine, heavens. All our phones are going to be dying a lot lately and in the future.
I wish. Oh, that's what it. Dummy me.
You know,
I forgot something I could have shared up here, or at least talked about. I want to bring up someone's bio here. Let me bring up someone's bio, and it's off of that. Okay, you want to talk about someone who knows what it is? It's this guy here. Come on, it's just don't do that to me. It was just showing him a second ago. What the heck? I hate it when it tries jumping screens on me.
it's like a
What?
pogo hopper.
Yeah, it just try it again.
Your computer is not liking the information you're trying to pull out of it.
Well, we pulled it up before the other, on Saturday. Try it again here. We're on that one there. Unless they pulled it down. No, there it is. I don't want to see him. I want to see the good doctor here. That's why, because there's a friggin' ad trying to come on here.
Yeah, I'm getting a little sick and tired of the doggone YouTube ads too. It's like they take over your computer before you're allowed to watch a video.
Let me kill this video, the ad here. No matter what I do, it's trying to throw up a stupid ad. So there we go. And got another ad pop up. Get rid of that one.
Got any extra, Howie?
Pause. There we go. All right. If you want to share this, we can share this now.
I can't share it. You have a share.
Oh, dang, it dropped off. That's right. Dang it. Okay, there we go. All right, this guy here is Michael Osterholm. He has more friggin' degrees. Let's see if I can get to show more here. Than I have letters in my channel's name. All right. So, I mean, director of the Center for Infectious Diseases Research and Policy, distinguished teacher, professors of environmental health and sciences, School of Public Health, professor in the Technology of Leadership Institute, College of Science Engineering, and adjunct professor in medical school at the University of Minnesota. There you go, Kathy, someone who went to the school there. He has a book out called The Deadliest Enemy, or War Against Deadly Germs. And in that book, which came out several years ago, let me open that up in a new link off to the side here. We'll look at that in a second. But I mean, he's got, McKnight Presidential Endowed Chair, Public Health, Direct, Anyways, everybody goes to him. Governments, foreign governments consult with him. And in his book, he gave off the this book here, and oh man, it's free delivery is into April now and May. Yeah, it's selling out so fast they can't keep it in stock. But he did, one of the scenarios he laid out as a possibility is unfolding before our eyes right now.
Yes, old man, I have.
So yeah, he was talking about what would happen. He did this China specifically, and
Amen.
he gave a timeline, and that timeline is unfolding almost exactly as in the book. Yep, Howie, armor of God shall protect you. So this is not to say fear. What I'm saying is not, I'm not trying to be fearful. It's like, hey, here's the information. Use it, follow it, understand it. And because God will help those who help themselves. So I'm just saying, help ourselves, people. Be good preppers, be good Christians.
Be good stewards, period. I mean,
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not going to kill anybody. If they come to my door, I'm going to politely turn them away with a small box of goods, but I'm not going to hand them my entire household.
Yeah.
I literally have no place else to store it. So I will be happy to donate some of it out to people who desperately need it. But, there's a difference between someone who desperately needs it and someone who has been informed and just chose not to do it the right way and then comes begging for it. Because those are the people that, A, are not going to appreciate it in the first place, B, aren't going to give any glory to God for it, and C, are going to be the first ones to stab you in the back when it's all over and done with.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, I just, unfortunately, my wife, as much as I want to get that book, my wife is she's going to throw a snit fit that I bought the Green Wizard, but that's a book she can use in the garden. So that's going to be my out on that one. I would love to get this book. I want to get several more of Doc and Doc Bones and Nurse Amy's books.
Oh, I agree, Tibor. Seconds count. And I'm a fairly good judge of character. I can tell because I've got cameras monitoring. If they're sneaking looks over their shoulders as they're walking up, that means they've got people really close that are going to come to aid them. And they're not coming through my door. I'm not stupid. They'll be told politely, I'm sorry, there's nothing here. You need to leave.
All right.
And you can't see it right now, but hold on. It sits right here. If I feel the need to armor up, if you will, as I see people walking door to door trying to get stuff, I will. And then when I open the door, they're going to realize I'm not going to take any crap. If their intent is pure, and you can tell by watching somebody's eyes, their hand movement, the corners of their mouth, their forehead, you can tell if their intent's real or fake and they're after more. Go ahead and show it if you want, Gil. I don't care.
Oh, I'm not going to pull it out. So I got two of these earlier last year. They were on sale at Cabela's, and what they do is it has two. It's a revolver with two cylinders. One cylinder takes this.
It's a particle accelerator.
Yeah, it's a particle accelerator, and this is some of the particles it accelerates. This one here, or the other one, which is the regular. That one. I can get it to focus right. And it has the special stuff in there, which is in it right now, which is the snake loads with the. But I got two of those here.
Those are the owie, not the oh crap.
Yeah, those are the it hurts. But yeah. But we got two of those here. And my son left his 911 here, which I got to call him and see if it's okay for me to load it up and bring it up here. But I do have my fun one, which I will show you guys here in a second. M.O. Moss, 500 BU bull PUP. Which my son-in-law so dearly wants me to bring out of the images here. Yes, there it is. That's the other one I have, which is my lovely pride and joy right here. The
Mass particle
this-
accelerators.
this one right here. Except that what I did to it, I went and I didn't like the handle coming off it, so I took the 2 screws out, took that off, so it looks more like this one up here, without the. But it still has the handle on top. I just took the pistol grip off the front so that it is easier to use, and it's loaded with double aught buck.
So how the heck did you fit a live animal inside that? I haven't figured that out yet.
It was tough.
I mean, I figured the 2 horns poking out the front would really cause issues.
Actually, what happened was I went and what's it called? Okay, I got the little gun from Megamind that he aimed at, and everything go down to a little cube. So a little small thing, I stuck it in there. So when it comes back out, it to full size, and you got the horns coming at whoever's out there.
Wow, that's some ingenuity there.
Yeah. Which was actually brought up a thing is that I was trying to pick up some triple aught at Cabela's and they don't have it.
Mm.
They were out.
Of course. But my Walmart has plenty of accelerating materials in the
Oh, I got a couple there too.
method.
I got the number 3, the number 3 shot there.
It's because the powder doesn't burn. Oh, wait a minute, let me rephrase that. More of the powder burns on those because of the way they're set up, which gives it a much sharper report.
Hmm.
Because of the way those are designed, they're in a sabot, which plugs everything to the end of the barrel. Unlike a regular Parabellum, there's a little bit of gap in there, which is what catches the rifling and causing it to spin. That's why the bigger the caliber, the louder the report.
Yeah.
Because they're actually filling the barrel up better. And more of the powder is going poof.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to I steered away from the aisle of all the freedom sticks on the wall.
Yeah.
So I really want to get a lever action freedom stick that is chambered for the not the 38 but the Magnum version.
I would like a Judge. A Judge would be a very nice addition to a collection right now.
Yeah.
And I may actually need a real live Judge too, just in case I have to use a fake Judge.
No, you want a living Judge in case you have to use the metal Judge.
Exactly, a real live Judge.
Well, the other one's not a fake Judge; it's just a metal Judge.
And I'm not talking about the movie Judge wearing.
Yeah, Tibor was talking about what I showed here,
Yeah.
but the what is a that's an 8-inch barrel on that.
A little bit more velocity.
Mm-hmm. But I do have my my Remington bolt action for the regular. It won't take the Magnums though.
You know, my friend's got a rifle sitting in his house. It's a kit. It's a modern day black powder. And I kicked myself in the butt a couple years back for not buying it off of him in some form, fashion of Barding or other.
Oh, old man has something there for you.
Yes. but so does the rounds I have in my 9mm.
And with the rifle I really, really, really want to get is the Weatherby 257. That'll only go through. That will not only go through the front. That'll go through the back as well.
Well, if we're going to talk about Dream, just give me a, 6.5 Creedmoor.
Yeah.
It's good up to a mile. That's all I need. Something that's accurate up to a mile. That's more than enough for me because everything within range is less than a mile, visibility wise. But a standard AR would do everything I need to do right now. Because when the deer are running out in the field out to behind the church over here and just drop one, have the neighbor out back, he'll gut it, clean it, and him and I'll cook it up for everybody. No, actually, Tibor, there's been tests showing it. The HMR 17 does a really good job of going through most soft body armor. The parabellums I use for mine are Liberty Civil Defense. It's a 90 grain cast copper projectile. There's no lead. It's got a very deep hollow point, and it goes through most soft body armor like it's butter. Yes, Gil. Gil's wish list toy.
Yes.
See,
20 millimeter.
Yeah, but see, I don't live on a hill trying to watch the 4 counties away from me what's going on.
No, this is just from here. I can get up on top of the roof, and I can see both of the two, actually all 4 points of entry into my small little quarter-mile city.
Yeah, but unless you mount that on a turret, you ain't gonna spin it that easy. But considering the way it's designed, it would not be hard to mount that in a turret, so when it fired, it would stay level. So follow-up shots would be rather quick. It is semi as well. Oh, it's bolt.
Oh, that's bolt action.
Yeah, I see that now. It's bolt.
So what's fun about it is it has a what was the range on it here? Trying to think. This is going to pop up over it. 2.7 miles.
Mm-hmm.
And it has that silencer on it, which really doesn't much silence. It just keeps your ears from hurting quite so much.
All that silencer actually does is push the report forward instead of backwards and sideways.
Yeah.
Which is why you think it's actually quieter, but it's really not. Because if you're standing in front of it, there's no difference in sound.
Yeah.
It's a boom you can't miss.
All right. Ooh. All right. I just realized something here. And let's see if I can find this one here. All right. I just saw one of my other pictures here. I'm sorry, guys, but I want that right now.
Oh, good grief. Now what? What are we looking at now? Oh. Pork and beans. Hot dogs in the skillet.
On a good outdoor fire. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Something else y'all need to consider too, I'm sure most of you already have, is when it starts to warm up, which we'll be doing here pretty soon for all of us. Getting outside and cooking outside, get you some natural vitamin D, get out there, play in the dirt.
Yeah.
Maybe accidentally spill a little bit of dirt in your food, eat it anyway. Not a whole lot of dirt, obviously.
Yeah. Ruger fall. Get a Ruger falling block for a 4-set Natural Express. Yeah. Well, I did pick up a couple more boxes of 30-30 for my saddle rifle.
Cool.
They were on sale too. I couldn't believe it. They had a lot of them. Nobody was getting 30-30. It's like, dang.
Well, we're at 3.5 hours. Holy smoly.
Yeah.
And there's still 10 people here. That's amazing.
11. I got 11. One more popped in.
Oh,
23 thumbs up. 12. All right. Someone else just showed up. Hey, welcome. Let me go ahead and pull this down.
Okay.
And pull that one down. But yeah. Green Wizard, throw up the Green Wizard's book again. Da, da, da. Yeah. And I bought the Kindle tonight on there, and I sent it to all 4 of my devices and my wife's device. And I just got to figure out how to add my daughter to the family group so it automatically goes to her device too. So, but yeah, really good book, really good information here. And it was absolutely great tonight. And somebody ducked back out again.
Exactly, Howie. I have showed it numerous times, and I'll turn me camera back on as soon as I figure out where I'm at. Right here, right next to me, within reach. Slingshot.
I at Walmart, they had a whole mess of wrist rockets, and they had some band ones instead of the tubes as well.
Mhm.
It's like,
And what's
no.
actually better.
But
Alrighty, folks. I'm going to turn you all loose to go raise havoc and chaos in your local communities.
actually, I'm going to go raid my fridge.
Now remember, tell them SOP said the world is falling to pieces and it's going to end in the next 7 years. So go ahead and put all the blame on me. I'll take it.
Okay, got a question here. How does a 30-30 compare to a 357 in a rifle? Right, depends on the length of the barrel. For a 30-30, if the barrel is longer, you'll get more speed and power out of it because the powder has a chance to burn. In the saddle rifle I have, if I fire it at night, anybody standing around me is blinded by the powder flash that comes out the end of it. It's like firing my 8-inch 357 revolver at night. The 357 out of the rifle, because the barrel is 16 inches longer, you get just about a complete powder burn. So it's burning all the powder, and you don't get that big of a muzzle flash of unburnt powder. Same thing with any rifle. The rifle with big old, huge, massive, it's powders. The casing's full of powder. It doesn't completely burn by the end of it. That's why shorter rifle barrels, you get a lot of muzzle flash out of them. You have a longer barrel, you get a better complete powder burn, and the slug is trucking a lot faster. It's all physics. Yeah, cowboy action. That's what I got. I got a 30-30 saddle cowboy. Yeah. And the 37 I want to get is a cowboy action as well. Lever action cowboy.
I wouldn't mind me having a nice.
Both barrels are the same length. You're going to be comparable. You're going to have excess powder on the 30-30, like I do. But they're good. The chart I read on it when I was looking at the 57 rifle, they're saying they're almost identical with the for the barrel length on a 26-inch barrel. That's because you still got all that powder going out the end, and also your slug, your bullet is heavier on your 30-30 than it is on the 357. Generally, I would believe. I could be wrong, but I say in general, it's probably going to be heavier. But yeah, I'm just saying what I read. I looked several different articles up, and they both said, they all said basically the same thing.
And T-Bar, that is because you're getting more powder burn. That's why it's 200 feet per second faster, is because you're getting a more complete powder burn.
But the 357,
it's expending a lot of excess powder out the end of the barrel.
No,
so it's not getting the feet per second the 30-30 does.
Actually, the 357 gives a complete powder burn, but because the slug is heavier in the 30-30, it starts to move slower at the beginning, and so it's getting more power, more burn, but it speeds up, and but it's going out the end. It is, it's going faster. Now, old man says a revolver and a rifle at the same caliber. That's why a lot of them use 357s and for both, or they use the 45s for both, or they use the I'm losing it here. The other common caliber for the pistols and rifles in the Old West.
38 special. Oh, 45. Wasn't it? Wasn't it a version of 45 or something? Cool.
Okay, so Tibor's saying it's a 20-inch barrel. It's a complete burn. So it also depends what you put in, but to get away from having to spend all this money on cartridges and stuff, I accidentally told my son about that that air rifle that by the Air Force Teton, and he's all mad at me. He's saving up money to buy that. Especially when especially with all the ammunition I finished
hey.
buying the ammunition for him.
We have a
for it.
solution. There is a solution. It's coming down the pike for everybody who pays taxes. That doesn't include me. Y'all going to get $1,000 check. Oh, wait, you're not working either, so you don't get one. If you're working and paying taxes, Trump said y'all going to get $1,000 check. I
Well,
believe it happens, but that's what he said.
I'm paying taxes on my retirement money, which is working for me.
But you're not working a job. That was the impression I got from him when he stated it. It is also not going to people who earn over a certain amount a year either.
Look at old man put.
Yeah, I see it.
I would love to have that too. Now, question for everybody out there. I have a Mini 14. Is that, I've heard people refer to that as an AR platform, even though it's a Ruger Mini 14. Does it take the AR magazines?
It's a style like it, yeah.
Because I would like, if it does,
it's not the same magazine. The front of it's shaped just slightly different.
So,
I mean, I'm not positive because I've never held one, so I don't know. But they look similar, but it's not the same. You can't interchange them, obviously.
Can't interchange them. Okay.
No, old man, I don't believe so.
All right, Tibor says no. Okay. I was going to buy one there, and I wasn't sure whether it didn't say Mini 14. It said AR, this, listed a bunch of different things it was compatible with. So I guess I'll just order some stuff online.
It's based on the Grand Action. Or Garand, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Just speak correctly.
Thank you, Tibor. I appreciate your knowledge. All hail Tibor, the king and knowledge bearer.
But no, old man, from what I understood him saying and reading between the lines in his body language, if you don't pay taxes, you ain't getting it. If you earn over a certain amount, you ain't getting it. So people like me and you who are disabled, we ain't getting it.
Yeah.
You're already getting a check from the government. It's the taxes I already paid in. I earned what I'm getting. Thank you very much. Because that's how they calculate how much you get when you're disabled. It's how much you've paid in. That's why some people who are disabled take home $4,000 a month. And people like me who take home less. 4 times less. What you got, the Guilford?
No, I was just looking for magazines. I put in the Mini 14, and it's coming up everything else but Mini 14s. Oh, wait a minute. That's a Mini 14 ranch rifle. So maybe this is. Let's see what this is. Will this work in a Mini 14? No, that's for the M4 M16.
Tibor made a comment to you.
Yeah, I know it's 223. That's what I got for it. Got more ammunition for it. Yeah. Yeah, I have to go with probably something like cheaper than dirt or something, or find something. But there are some.
One of those companies out there just got popped for price gouging.
Yeah, when I was looking at cheaper than dirt, their numbers were still. I mean, numbers were still low.
Okay, I don't remember which one I heard, but I heard one of the major companies out there got busted for price gouging their stuff and was actually shut down for like 24 hours.
Yeah. Oh, well, let me look. Do it a different way. See what comes up here. No, I don't want stainless steel.
So would I, old man. I'll tell you right now, though, if they do send me a check, the part of where it's going is to get me a new toy to play with, shall we say.
Yeah, cheaper than dirt has some good ones. Okay, I'll go look at them.
Because I already have a line on a couple different models that have piqued my interest, shall we say. Particle mass accelerators of the bullpup kind.
Ah, there it is. There's the one I want to get.
Oh, yes, your dream.
Yes. Yes,
Oh,
that's the one I want to get right there. For my Mini 14. Get that bad boy.
Yeah, I could just see the expression on your wife's face if you ordered that.
Yeah, $91. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to, you'd have a live stream, all right. She'd be saying, we're shaving. Yeah. Let's see what happens when we go here with the razor.
Yeah. Huh. So 20 round magazine is $13. 30 round magazine is $18 from Pro Mag. There's the original. Yeah, they are pricey.
Mm-hmm.
$61 for the 20.
But in all seriousness, I'd rather have a vehicle right now and just go hide up in Michigan until all this blows over.
Yeah.
At least up there's a support network. Where down here, I have absolutely nada.
Okay, you can pull it down. Actually, I really need to go get something to eat.
Yep.
Okay.
So, inching up on the 4-hour mark. Hopefully, we answered some questions for folks this evening. Again, special thanks to Green Wizard, Ron. Thank you for being gracious enough to come up here and chat with us this evening. And anytime you would like to come back up and offer information or post things up on Discord, please feel free to do so. Again, I made you the admin of the gardening tips and tricks spot there. And hopefully we'll catch everybody soon, healthy and happy. And remember, if God said, if my children will humble themselves and come before me with humble hearts and supplication, with prayer and fasting, he will hear our prayers and answer them. So remember, folks, don't hesitate to fall down and pray once in a while. And the more of us that can pray, there's a better chance of this stopping. I mean, I don't know. God has a plan. We don't know what it is. But I trust his plan. I don't trust the plans of men. So I put my faith in him. And if I should wind up with it, I'll go to my grave giving prayer and supplication to him because he has a purpose. And there's a reason that I caught it. Maybe it's to show other people that having faith is far more healthy than not. I don't know. But y'all have a good night, safe. And we'll catch you in the next live stream. Be safe. God bless everybody.
Stay happy, stay prepared.